Helps if you mute us.
I'm on mute. Good evening. Yeah, I'm on mute. Rookie error. Only done this for 8 years. Good evening. Welcome back to the CUNY Way. My name's Mike. I'm your host. It's Thursday. Let's chat. It's time to go through a lot. Yeah. Everyone, good evening in the comments. Good evening, gentlemen on the panel. Ozzy, Rich, Ed's at the gym, pumping iron. I hope that's all he's pumping.
Ed, stay quiet.
Nah, man, let me tell you, yo, big up the chat, big up the panel. I tell you, man, if you guys heard discussion back in the back room, man, it's going to be a fiery show.
You're already surrendering already, Martin. Is that it? Just like my hands are up, that's it.
Nope. I'm not going to surrender. I will have my say and I will have my opinion. People don't agree. That's absolutely fine. Good evening, Rich. How are you?
Good evening. Very good. Very good.
No, Akanji's gone, mate. Akanji's gone. Good evening, Ash. Good evening, Tone. Bad nights, put Pep. I'll never change. Be careful, you'll get called Epic Clapper. On to West Ham. Yeah. My prediction, we'll star that. I'll come back to that when we get onto the West Ham section. The thumbnail, not sure. The thumbnail is something I wanted to do for 2 or 3 weeks, is the City hate from everywhere else. It kind of, then people are confused because the City hate's now in some of the own fan base. So I don't know where we're going anymore. So no, it's about other people, other shows, and just the general hate people have got for Manchester City. Catch you live for the watch along. Yeah, big up, mate. We'll get on to that in a bit. Big up, Ash. Big up, Venom. How are you? I'm praying we can hopefully win against West Ham. We're not winning versus Madrid. UCL is over. Our season is over. Expectations should be lowered. There will be no trophies this season. The team doesn't have it in them. Good night. We're done. Good evening, Salah. How are you, my old mucker? The confidence players are shot, and I don't think Pep helped with what he did at Madrid. Well, Ozzy and Pat, Rich are going to get into it in a minute. Me and Ed are going to stay silent, so we disagree. Oh, man, should probably start against both West Ham. Well, from what I've seen a few people today, Haaland's apparently on his way, innit? On his way. Apparently people are celebrating that at the moment, so I don't know. Around 10 days left. Yes, big up, Dash. Thank you. Don't forget as well, we'll put that up in a bit, the link to the charity cancer for young teenagers who are suffering with the horrible disease in the world. So we will put that up. Please give generously. Even £1 will do. 23 winning team and 26 are two different mentality. Spot on. Spot on, Venom. And that's what I think people can't get their head round. CDS, City Derangement Syndrome. Is that what it's been coined as? City Derangement Syndrome. We will 100% and surely win on Saturday. Bodo Limp go further than City in the thing. Well, apparently Bodo Limp are shit, but they seem to be smacking everyone they're playing at the minute. If Arsenal beat by Lakers, saying it's going to be Bodo Glimt versus Arsenal. Bodo Glimt a very good side. I do. City will not do. Anyway, City top. Matt, you think we have any chance? We'll talk about it. BB, have a W. Just slagging off Haaland help. We lost the game and some people are embarrassing. They can't accept it. Haaland has 6 goals to start. Yep. Cade, good evening. We have too many snowflakes in the squad. Big up Briggs there, one of our mods. Hope you are well. One of our mods who's still here, having a break. Chroma Base, thank you for the 14 months, my old mucker. We appreciate that for your continued support. It is amazing. And Oriano, I think that's driven over from last night. So big up to you as well, mate. You still pepping? Yes. Why would there be anything else? I know I've had a lot of personal abuse today because I'm pepping. Hey ho, never mind. Super Blues, big up Stevie Black. People are pep sexuals, apparently. Yeah, that's one of the terms that's going around at the minute. Pep sexuals. Apparently, there is news that City want to give Jeremy Doku a brand new contract. Yes, that's true. Hello, Adam. Rebuild City. I like Gattuso said sometimes good, sometimes shit. And I think there's a very key word in the front of that: rebuild City. Thank you, Abdul. Yes, you are joining us tonight, Mad Hatter, which will be a pleasure to have you on. The people I feel bad for are the people who spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds to go and watch it. Well, apparently they're all happy clappers because they clapped the team off last night. Yeah, sad. Hate from Rivals is comment. Yeah, well, it's just a topic we wanted to do, mate. Hello, fellow treble winners and 4-peak champions. The title. But I'm not, again, people are not, this title's come at the wrong time because of last night's game. The title was already in play. The team has no chemistry. I don't think they even like each other. I love reading them because it's like just wild theories are out there now. Next 4 games and maybe our season.
I think Pep's been abducted by aliens and replaced by an inferior Pep lookalike alien. That makes a lot of sense to me.
More chance of seeing a flying pig than us keeping a clean sheet next Tuesday. Good evening, Fats Jack. Hope you're well. Hey, Big Blues. Big up the panel. Smash the likes on the way in. Good to see you back, Martin. Thank you. Adam, what FPL Main Road said wasn't good. Why? What did he say? You'll have to let me know, Cade, what he said. By the way, do you look at my DM messages? The QR code did expire. So, oh, right. Yeah, no, I haven't. So I'll have to put a new one up. My apologies, mate. I've been off social media all day because I didn't want to go on there. No excuse for any type of abuse towards anyone. Generally disgusting that. Hey, the way of the world, mate. The way of the world. Mind if you really want to ruffle some feathers, join us in the Quad Father agenda. Do you know what? That'd be funny as well. Because Joshua, people are calling for our most successful ever manager to be sacked and season over for a loss. You back them to the death, Josh. That not when you feel like it's over. Any thoughts on Jack Gorn article? Bad for mentality. Not seen it. I think we'll do it Tuesday night. Don't write City off. Do location check like foreign fans me. Basically, do location check like foreign fans me. Nothing but what? I don't get what you mean by that. Yeah. Right. I'm going to shut up. Ozzy, Rich, off you go. Real Madrid.
Bad day at the office. I thought Pep made too many changes. Not that a lot of the fans, the same fans slagging him off and calling for half the changes he made. And I know on Blues Down Under we were talking about maybe playing one winger, not three. And yeah, but we were talking about bringing Cousinov in and making some of the changes we did. I think we made too many. I do think that playing three wingers when there's only two wings and basically just going five up front was a little bit primary school football, and the complete opposite of what we normally criticise Pep for, which would be going overly defensive there. But you know, I've called there, and I thought it was brilliant that Newcastle having three defenders at the back and making some of those changes. So, you know, some of the changes we made are the calls I wanted, fans wanted. We had a bad day at the office, and Valverde had a very, very good day at the office. And Donnarumma made and Nick O'Reilly made their worst mistakes of the season. And you know, I think Vinicius gave us a 10% chance of going through, by showing just stupid arrogance. But you know, two of Valverde's goals. The second one was a little bit lucky, but the finish was brilliant. The third one was, you know, we should have got the ball clear, but was world class play. And you know, Pat and Ozzy can, you know, feel vindicated in their Valverde glazing. But I tell you, they'll be the last player Real Madrid will ever be selling to anyone. And you know, I said my biggest regret is I said to the lads on one of my WhatsApp that Real Madrid with $3.70 at home, we should all pile in because you are never going to see Real Madrid at those odds in a home game before. And I wish I'd listened to my own advice and put a few quid on. But you know, it's one of those things you make. Pep called it wrong. He's done it before in 2021. You know, Champions League final against Lyon. I understood the 2021 Champions League final. I didn't really understand fully the changes he made for Madrid, but c'est la vie. And you know, I thought we started the first 10 minutes well, and two bad mistakes changed the game. I thought Real Madrid were a different side after the goal. I thought their energy came in. I thought the fans were noisy. They closed the roof to try and bring the fans. Had we got the first goal, those fans would have turned against Real Madrid and we'd have probably won 3 or 4-0. And it just shows you that bad mistakes, and we made two of them in one action, can make the difference, can 100% totally change a game. Because, yeah, Docky put across 3 billion.
I just like that off Steve Black, seeing less melting on a cheese toaster.
Yeah. But, you know, I think what people have to understand is there's no team in the world that doesn't lose football matches. We're in a rebuild, and there's no team in a rebuild who doesn't lose football matches. And, you know, you don't melt down and change everything because one thing goes wrong, because no human in history would ever achieved anything if the first time something goes a bit wrong, you drop your kecks, you give up, and you start whining. And I tell you what, I'd rather be happy, clappy, and enjoy life than be a sad, whinging suck, because some of the fans are like bloody 2-year-olds who've been denied seconds of pudding. And it's just, it is embarrassing. It embarrasses me to see a fan base who should be behind the team, who should be criticising it, but reasonably should be to see some of our fan base at the moment. And it embarrasses me to see some of our channels of so-called lifelong City fans trading for the money on being over the top, embarrassing themselves, collapsing and showing absolutely no bottle. So come on, I think it's time the fans get behind the club, because if people are talking about the mentality of the team not being where it was in 23, the mentality of the fans is absolutely pathetic. Enough said.
Ozzy? Follow that if you can.
I know. I'm not sure.
I agree. 1000% agree with every single word there. Carry on.
Yeah. I mean, Rich, as usual, you put that beautifully. Yeah. I mean, it was a bad night. There's no denying that. It was. a night we'd all rather forget. We'd rather just kind of go, let's move on. But we can't shy away from it. We've got to talk about it. For me, when I first saw the starting lineup, and I even put it in our group chat. Said it's very attacking. It felt a bit un-Pep-like, going away to Bernabeu. I couldn't really understand the setup, to be honest, to begin with. So that was kind of my first slight alarm bell. But I was going with it. It was like, yeah, all right. And then we think about, a lot of us had said, this Real Madrid side, with all the injuries they've got, with the current form, I think most people who watch Real Madrid, whether that's fans or watch the Liga, will agree that that's probably Real Madrid's best performance of the season. And I think the other thing that we were kind of forgetting is that we slapped them 2-1 at the Bernabeu only a few months back. And I think that's something they haven't forgotten. I think it's a big scalp for Real Madrid now to take on Manchester City, and get that scalp. They know what a big team we are now. They know the threats we've got, and they brought it. They had a lot of their big stars out, and they showed up. And obviously, as Rich said, me and Pat have said for the last few years, that Valverde is one of the best and underrated in some respects stars for Real Madrid. I know he's not fully underrated, maybe by the rest of out of the Liga, and especially maybe outside the Real Madrid, inside the Real Madrid fan base. But for me, he's just sublime, and he showed that last night, his quality. And I think for me, that's kind of one of the. Talking about him just for a minute is, for me, he did what Kevin De Bruyne would used to do for us. And they're completely two different players, but in the respect of that, he could do something. He could create that magic. He can have those moments where he can have big moments in big games, and that's what he did for Real Madrid last night. Because I didn't think particularly like the likes of Vinicius Junior. He had a couple of moments, but I don't think he was a real threat that we didn't see off. It was Valverde. It was the Valverde show for me, and the rest of the players just came around him and just got into it. And obviously, my other big point about that team is, we talk about Donnarumma being the best goalkeeper in the world. I'm sorry, but he's not. The best goalkeeper in the world last night showed his quality. Was saving that ridiculous chance from O'Reilly. Nothing about it. It was a split second to put his leg out. And that just shows. He has kept them in games so many times, Quartar. He is, for me, just the standout goalkeeper of the moment. At the moment, he beats everybody hands down, and he shows why, because he pulls off magic saves like that last night.
Well, if you look at the goal, their first goal, what ultimately changed the game, the two goalkeepers, Courtois picked a brilliant ball out to Valverde really quick, and Donnarumma wasn't concentrating. Donnarumma wasn't quite ready, which is why he made the mistake and didn't know where the area was.
But Rich, can I ask you about that, right? Because I look back at the game, right? Donnarumma is standing close up, right? He's out of the net, right? Because Courtois has the ball, right? So he's already out there. So he has to make a decision to run back to his net or go for the ball, right? That's what he had to do. And to be honest, I think both ended a goal for me. But it's just, for me in that situation, and we'll talk more about the game, and I'm not going to go in on a youngster, but could we tell O'Reilly hasn't been playing left back for some time?
O'Reilly made a terrible mistake. I don't think we can deal with that. But if you watched Donnarumma, he came out, and he actually came out well.
We're coming to you in a bit. We're coming to you, Mr. Hustam, in a bit. Don't you worry.
He didn't know where the edge of his area was. So you see him, and he deliberately moves his hand out of the way of the ball, because he knows if he doesn't know where his area is. So he moves his hand because he doesn't want to get sent off, because it wasn't the referee against Palace. So you get sent off if you handball the ball outside the area, because he knows if the ball goes round him, there's no guarantee Valverde's going to get it or finish it, or it's going to go in the right place. So he moves his hand, and that's because he wasn't
He lost his bearings.
Situationally aware.
I know.
Yeah.
Hang on. I've stayed quiet.
He wasn't ready for the move.
No,
he wasn't ready for.
We had this debate on WhatsApp for 25 minutes yesterday. I don't know where Ozzy's gone. Ozzy just disappeared.
Ozzy, he froze, so he's probably just rebooting.
Right. Just to let you know, I agree with you, but watch for me, and I've watched it back twice today because I thought I need to know, was his positioning poor? Probably. But the one thing I will say is once he got in that area, if you watch his hand, he pulls it because he thinks if my hand goes out now, I'm out the box. Totally. He's trying to not be sent 100%. Off. He lost all his bearings. He lost. I'm sorry, Rich, you're not going to like this. That was an O'Reilly for me at that point because no, hang on a bloody minute. You're not on a Rich rant here, sunshine. Let's debate back and forth.
Yeah, it's both of them.
That was a proper left back. You're wanting him to just drop 2 or 3 yards further back and go bang, head the ball away.
Yeah,
knock it out of play.
Don't.
He lost Valverde completely.
Yeah, 100% correct. But 99 times out of 100, Donnarumma would have been concentrating, would have known exactly where his area was. Yeah. Some both.
So it's on both. Yeah, I agree.
Both should have stopped it. And that's why.
And I'm not having this. O'Reilly's not a left back when we were sat there telling he should be the England's left back.
I don't think they expected that ball from Courtois. I don't think O'Reilly was ready for it, and I don't think Donnarumma was ready for it. And therefore, I think they both, whether it's panic,
that was his best ball of the season, Rich. That was his best ball of the season. That was his best ball.
It was a great. I'm not going to. Listen, I'm not taking it away.
They were not ready for that. I've seen, we've seen Edison do that for City a lot of times when he does it, and the opposition isn't ready. They make mistakes. Usually, the centre backs for Edison, he was a bit more.
No, we can't do this. I'm not doing this. He's not played left back in 2 months. I'm not doing that. When we were saying he was the best left back in the country.
He hadn't played left back for his whole life when he first played.
I'm not doing that. That's making excuses, and I'm not going to play that game.
They weren't concentrating enough. They weren't focused enough, and they made bad mistakes. And this
is what I mean. If we're going to criticise, can we do it in a fair manner rather than just protecting players? Listen, just because we're constructively criticising, we're criticising the evening. We're not saying he's a shit player. This is where people are getting very confused right now. They're assuming because you said someone's made an error, you're saying the shit. No, we're saying he had a poor game. If you can't accept he had a poor game, I'm sorry, that's on you. That's on you then. And here's another thing. Ain't Nori had a knock, apparently. So who else are you playing at left back? The other guy who can play left back's injured. But nobody looks at these things. No one ever does. Coming on for 15 minutes is very different to starting a game. So I don't understand it. I think it's a little bit, I agree with what people said earlier on. Was last night crap? Yes. Have people gone way over the top with it? Yes. It's baby and bathwater stuff. Did Pep make errors? Yeah, but again, I'm going to say this. The same people who said he made the errors were the same people, including you, Rich, and Ozzy. Yeah. You two would love this. You wanted the wing play. Against Newcastle, you got what you've been asking for 2 years. Direct wingers. Lovely play. Sane Sterling. He does it last night. Nah, shit again.
Yeah, but he went too far even for Ozzy and me there. He played 3 wingers last night. We talked about the team at length for about an hour on BDU. That's when I wanted Duffy. Well, actually, I thought Duffy was
well, that's my point. Okay, everyone's saying Ake shit last 2 weeks.
And I wanted Doku and Semenyo, but I don't know how. And even for a lover of wingers like Ozzy and me, I don't know how you think you can play Semenyo, Savinho, and Doku. Like that's, we were talking about Doku as a winger, maybe Semenyo on the other side, maybe Cherky or something.
Morning, man.
He played 3 wingers, and there's only 2 wings. Only 2 wings. So that was a bit bizarre. But I'd have picked that defence. I'd have had O'Reilly in midfield because I think, I don't understand why when we were waxing lyrical about O'Reilly as
Jesus, everybody's here now.
Jesus,
everyone's here.
Yeah. Well, I have to drop early anyway after my rant, so it's a good thing you've got good numbers. It won't matter.
But the thing, hang on, the thing with Sabio is he got man of the match against Newcastle, was outstanding. Yeah. What we just meant to bench him back.
Martin, we all knew. Come on, we all knew it was a little
one game
to put him in against Real Madrid. Nobody has to be on their starting lineup. Nobody.
I'm asking the question. If you got man of the match and then you drop him, that's what people have moaned about. Or they get man of the match and then they drop next game.
Now, as soon as you've seen them three together, the red flag, Savio, Doku, and Semenyo together.
Yeah, three wingers is like, I've never ever seen that, I don't think, in my life.
No.
And I do think you it then left us without, you kind of think, don't you need someone like in the middle?
Well, let's be honest, Rich. Let's be honest. Where was the midfield? Because the only person in midfield really was Rodri. And
again, I'd be brilliant.
That is just he didn't have legs. He didn't have legs with him, and that's what O'Reilly has been. That's what I've loved City in the last month or so. Is the legs O'Reilly gives us in midfield, and the fact he gives us true all-round midfielder. And and maybe Aït-Nouri was injured late, and he had to go left back, and that's not something Pep wanted.
That's only a rumour, by the way. I don't know what the rumour was. The rumour was last night is that he had a knock.
Yeah, it could be true.
They didn't ask him in the presser, though, did they? They didn't ask him in the press. Where was Aït-Nouri?
Yeah, I think Pep was just trying to get out of that press conference as quick as he even got into it. I don't think he wanted to really talk to him.
Some of my comments. Savio got locked up by Mendy, who hasn't played a game in 6 months. Mendy played 90 minutes a week ago. So, fans like to get a bit over-exaggerating in how bad things are. But I just think, it's the Champions League. It's we had, absolute the biggest meltdowns in history when we lost in minus 97, although Ozzy will correct me and say it was a balmy 18 in Bodo Glimt. And, fans were in a meltdown, and people who said actually Bodo Glimt aren't that bad got slagged off for just being ridiculous. Now Bodo Glimt look like the new Monaco as they take out, not just beat, but thrash a number of Europe's,
Can I ask a question? Just to chuck a question out. Semenyo's not actually been playing on the wing the last few games anyway.
But Martin, I was saying this last night, and I get what everybody's saying, but when you bring him into the midfield and take out what O'Reilly,
No, I agree with that, Ed. What I'm saying is people are going three wingers. Where was all this moaning about Semenyo playing off Haaland for the last 3 or 4 games then? Why has no one been complaining of that then? Why is it only when it doesn't work it's now he can't do it? But for 4 games beforehand, he could do it.
I don't think it has, though, worked, Martin, if we're being brutally honest, because if we look at Haaland's output, it's dropped off a cliff compared to what his normal stats would be. He's good for, a goal and a half, if not 2 goals a game, was the stat he had, most of the last few seasons he's played for us. So I think there is an actual look at for me, it was Semenyo and Haaland up top, really, when they first started. And it hasn't worked. I think, you could see Haaland is struggling to get into the game. With Semenyo up there, he's taking the balls and together they're just not gelling. It's not working as well.
That was my question, Ozzy. My next question, Ozzy, was why have we changed? Why aren't we playing to Haaland's strength? It's non-existent.
Can I be a bit cheeky, Governor? Can I be a bit cheeky just to come back to Ozzy and Tone's point 2.5 weeks ago? Can I just be a bit cheeky? It's a squad game now. It's a squad game. We can rotate.
I know that.
What I'm told.
But
What's your point there, Martin, about rotation? Because this isn't about
because he
rotation.
rotated. We can't say it's a squad game. He rotates, and then we moan about him rotating.
No, I think if we're going to be brutally honest, Martin, he got the starting lineup wrong last night.
I
It's nothing to do with rotation.
I disagree.
Well, no, because we lost the game 3-0, Martin. You got it wrong.
Yeah, because of individual errors.
do you know what I mean? There's no clear obvious
because of
that.
individual errors.
He got it wrong, Martin. That we just have to accept.
Well, if you let me speak, individual errors is you watch the 3 goals; they're all individual errors.
There may be individual. I mean,
because for the first 15 minutes,
I think it's the brilliance of Valverde, and I think just
exactly. And for the first 15
O'Reilly
minutes,
is left back who hasn't played left back for the last few games. He's played midfield.
For the first 15 minutes, City were the better team, and we should have.
Rodri's on his own again in the middle.
We should have, but why was it working for 15 minutes and collapsed when we scored? That's my biggest issue. Because for the first 15 minutes, City were Doku was destroying them down the left hand side for 15 minutes.
It was Real Madrid's mentality. It was Real Madrid went into that game not thinking they were going. They started not very confident. That goal made every single Real Madrid player improve 25%. Their effort after the goal was stronger. Their pace after the goal was stronger. The fans changed after the goal. And that goal, which was 2 massive individual errors, changed the game. So on that point, you're right. But where I'll agree with Ozzy, because I think you're both kind of right here, I don't think it was the right team. I do think that we took out the energy strength in the midfield that has been key to our success in the last couple of months. And I do think playing 3 of Savinho and Doku and Savio was a mistake. I think had Savio not played and Cherki played and been a bit more creative in the middle, or I think 1 or 2 changes to that side, it would have been bang on. I just think it was a couple of things too far. But I think we could have gone on and won that game had we not made those 2 individual errors. Because had one of those 2 brilliant crosses from Doku got knocked in, it would have gone the other way. Real Madrid's mentality would have collapsed. The fans would have gone against them, and we'd have probably gone on to win by 3 or 4. And that just shows you in top football that one moment, I think, change a game completely. And I love the fact Tady's just miming his disagreement.
Can I? Well, I've got to pick it because I'm going to say this before coming to talk one side. Sorry to sound a bit rude there. Pep got it wrong for me having Nunes on the bench. Do you know what he did with Kushinov last night? Exactly what he's done for 5 years for Real Madrid. He put a pace fullback or defender to Vinny Jr. That's and he said it. I wasn't bothered about the attacking version from anyone last night. He wanted a straight defender to stay on Vinny Jr. and then block him. That's what he was asking for. Now, everyone's been telling me Kushinov can play right back, centre back. He's our best defender. He's a young lad. And I think people have jumped the gun. Because listen, I think he's going to be a world superstar, Kushinov. I think people are trying to jump too much here. Because no one had an issue when Kyle Walker was doing that against Billy Jr. Because Kyle Walker never went forward. So why was it a problem last night? Why are we trying to change what we've done always at Real Madrid?
There was 2 instances there on the pitch where it could have been a coaching decision. Like, there's no harm in change. If you say it's not working, there's no harm in changing players even before half time if it's not working. But there was 2 instances. Is when Doku was running riot. What did they do? They trebled up on him sometimes, doubled up. What did they do with O'Reilly when they targeted him? We didn't do anything. Now, is that the players on the pitch or is that a coaching thing? Because when O'Reilly did make a bozo, there was a desert behind him. There was no one near him. You know, when a keeper takes a kick, all of them move over together when he's kicking. There is no one near O'Reilly whatsoever. No one. He was on his own. There was no defenders anywhere near him. But they trebled up on Doku when there was an attack. Whether that's the team doing that or is it a coaching thing? Do you know what I mean? Whether you see it on the pitch, you could have made a change at half time. Or even before half time.
He did make a change at half time.
Well, I mean, even before that, if you see it, it was 3-0, it was too late.
This is where I do. Bloody hell, everyone's dropping it. Tone's gone. This is where I disagree. I think I know everyone's got this thing at the minute of just change plays for half time. You saw on Tuesday night what the Tottenham keeper happened. That's his career.
Yeah, but you're freaking it.
He's never coming back from that. No, but if you start
a different position altogether, Martin.
You're killing players. You're killing players. I'm going to be honest, and I'm only saying it from when I used to manage, and it's a very, very low level. Do not get me wrong. If I took players off in the first 20 minutes, I destroyed them.
I know. I'm the same. But it's not. Yeah, but if you explain yourself, Martin, it's not. It's like he's saying, "Oh yeah, I've fucked this up. I've got to change it." Like it's not having a go at the player in that position. It's just that he's messed the positions up with the player. He's not having a go at the player as if he's playing bad.
Players don't see it that way, though. Unfortunately,
big bucks for though, mine.
That Kingsky on Tuesday night didn't sit there and go, "Oh well, he's for the betterment of the team." That's why he had tears in his eyes and walked straight down the tunnel.
Can anyone hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
My point is there's a human factor to this as well. That everyone is ignoring. There's a human factor to these players.
Yeah, but you can explain it, man. You've got to toughen up a bit. You can explain it to the player.
I've had this, me and you have had this debate loads. I think players are soft. I think they're soft in 2026.
That's it, yeah.
Players are soft asses now.
Some are. I mean,
I think the majority are, Rich. You dropped them for 2 games and they're knocking on the manager's door.
I don't think I've seen a player have a more shocking start to a career than Kusanov had at City, and that mistake and the one he made just after against, was it Chelsea? And
they keep mentioning it.
Kept him on for about 50 minutes. He didn't drag him off in the first half, of course.
Yep.
But Kusanov came back stronger from that. So and he actually stood up the rest of after 15 minutes. Bernardo calmed him down a bit, and he stayed the course. So players can deal with it. Some can't. You're right. Some players.
I think Kusanov can. I think Kusanov's more in the minority now.
Yeah,
Kusanov's very old school. Kusanov.
Yeah,
he's an old school player.
He's probably had it a lot tougher. He hasn't come through.
That's what I mean. The guy's done. Yeah.
He's played
for me.
He's played in Belarus and stuff. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I have to drop. I've got to go and do the.
See you, Rich.
Drop off.
When I was miming, sorry, Rich, you can go if you have to go, mate. Don't worry. I was miming earlier.
Yeah.
Right, okay. The 25%.
Are you in the loft?
Yeah, I'm up in the loft. I've been kicked up here. Everyone's downstairs.
Has Marie kicked you up there?
All bad language. Yes, because the city, I'm still swearing. The 25% thing with Madrid and the fans and all that. That's fine. That's all well and good. But City dropped more than 25% from that starting point, and that's what worries me the most.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, that worries me more. Than Real Madrid stepping up was City stepping back. Where's that mentality to go? All right, we've gone 1 down, even 2 down. Let's go. That's what concerned me the most. The lack of creation, the fact that. We just completely fell apart. We just did nothing all game. And we were playing the last 10 minutes like we were happy to just say, okay, 3-0's okay. As long as we don't concede another. There was
scored.
Gahey and Rodri bloody high-fived when the penalty was saved. You go back and watch it. So what are you high-fiving for, lads? We're 3 down.
I get. Listen, I'm probably the wrong person there because I've been in locker rooms and seen it, and that is what players do. Players do that. They always do the little tap of the ball, my fives when I keep. That's just sports.
Yeah, you're free up and the penalties saved. I'm all for it. You're free down.
What do you want him to do? Do you want him to do Kieran Dyer-Lee Bullion and start having a punch up in the middle of midfield?
I want them to turn up. I keep seeing people say this team isn't as good as people think. I don't agree with that. I think this team is bloody good. Very, very, very good. Very good squad. Our squad of 20-odd is crazy good, in my view. I mean, look at the players we've got and the options we've got across the pitch, and they're not showing up for whatever reason.
That's where I disagree with you, Tone. I don't think some of these players are as good as we think they are.
Some might not, but the squad is...
They're not good enough.
Not good enough.
You know what? I think you're both right in some respects, because for me, what Pepper's done since he walked through the doors at City is he built a midfield that challenged, that was world class at a few stages throughout his career at City. For me, last night, like I said, the derelict of Juju, of him basically just letting Rodri on his own in that midfield and just putting a complete attack on and just thinking we're going to outscore Real Madrid was just a derelict of duty for me, because really and truly that midfield hasn't looked as solid as it did a good few seasons ago, like during the treble season. And we've lost some big players over the last couple of seasons because of it. And the big one, like I was trying to make a point earlier on when I talked about Valverde, is that Valverde is what Kevin De Bruyne did for us. He would come along and have those big moments. He'd have the games where it was the Kevin De Bruyne show. And that's what Valverde did for Real Madrid last night. So for me, you look at that midfield, you know, O'Reilly's been playing really well, but he's a 20-year-old kid, okay, who's got the legs, he's got the talent, but it's a lot to put on his shoulders. And there's no denying that I think he'll be a fantastic talent going forward, but it's a lot to put on him. Rodri's still coming back from, you know, a serious injury, and yes, he's looked better, but again, having it on his own in that midfield last night at the Bernabeu was a mistake. And Bernardo was just too far forward to be able to help. And I think, you know, the big problem I had is where Tone was talking about is the mentality is Rodri and Bernardo, the mentality just didn't show up last night. They didn't grab that game. They didn't grab the rest of the players around them and go, right, we're 1-2-0 down. We need to, you know, shithouse this a little bit. We need to keep control of the ball. We need to, you know, stink the place out a little bit if we need to. We need to drown down the crowd. There was none of that. That as soon as that first goal went in, the heads went down, and that was it. The game was.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think when you turn around and said that we were in the game for the first 10, 15 minutes, actually, I think
we're the better team.
Well, I think the only reason I'd say the better team is because of Doku. He was the only player creating. He was the only threat we had in that game throughout the entire game. But for the first 15, 10 minutes, wherever it was, he was the only outlet. He was the only one making chances. And it just, that was it.
I think that's where, this is where I disagree also, because I think this is where I think people are getting a bit lost for me. Where was the creators? The creators were meant to be the wingers. That was where the creation was meant to be coming from, in the same way it did against Newcastle. Against Newcastle, it was the wingers.
Balance, though, Martin. You have to have balance where, yes, you can have the wingers doing some of that, but you've also got to have a stable midfield where, you know, you can rely on. They were tearing through our midfield. Like
their midfield's better than ours. Let's face it, we haven't. I'm going to say this: we don't have KDB anymore. We don't have anyone near KDB levels.
But we do have
Cherky was better than KDB.
Yeah.
Well, that's the online scenario. Cherky's better than KDB. Jesus Christ.
No, I don't think we can turn around and say that Cherky is the overall answer right at this moment in time. But I do think that Cherky and Foden not being in this team isn't helping. Now, Foden, for various reasons, isn't quite at it. Cherky has still got a lot to learn. But as soon as he came on the pitch, there was a couple of chances where I think he made some sloppy passes, and he definitely did I'm forgetting the defender now, top of my head. Anyway, you know what I'm going to say. But anyway, he made a difference when he came on and he started making chances. They weren't great, but he was getting into the game. He was controlling it. And I just think if we're going to, we need these type of players who are going to make a difference. We need them in midfield. You can't just rely on having Rodri as the only midfield in that attack. And for me, like I said, we've got to have a midfield that works. And currently, I think that's where the biggest problem is in our team right now, is that we haven't got a stable, reliable midfield going forward for any of the games, really.
I think
I think we're talking about creating Doku. I mean, if Doku put them balls across the box, there were tap-ins. Where were they?
Thank you. That's my point. We did, so we were creating.
Yeah.
If somebody takes a gamble on them 2 or 3 crosses we make, we're 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes and sailing.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't get this not creating bit. I think we did.
We only created for the first 10 minutes, Mark.
I thought he did sweet FA when he came up. I think there's hard work shaky at the minute.
Yeah, Doku did his job.
I don't get
Just up front didn't do the job. Like, Doku's done his job there, getting it in. No one's following it up.
I agree with Governor Doku. It was man of the match, by far the only player that showed any intent to not try and win. I think they all try and win. But, I mean, I agree with the lack of creation, though. It's alarming. But you look at the recent games, 2-2 with Forest. Okay, we scored 2, but we created sod all in the second half, and we were hanging on to a team that might go down. And we should have lost that game. Donnarumma made a really good save towards the end. We beat Leeds 1-0. We created nothing again second half. We were holding on against Leeds. 2-1 Newcastle in the league. Again, nothing second half. We did jack shit second half, and we were holding on. 2-0 against Salford. And to be fair to Salford, they should have been 2-0 up before we scored. So we can, there are alarming little trends about this creation. People saying we created X, Y, and Z. Look, we all see differently, all our own opinion. I ain't seeing it. I'm not seeing anything. Can anyone name me anywhere yesterday where anybody looked for Haaland at all? Or in the previous...
I agree with that. I don't think Haaland...
I agree.
When Haaland's
Nottingham Forest, we created 22 chances. We had 9 shots on target. Okay, that's not a chance creation issue, then. That's a finishing issue.
But when Haaland doesn't play and Marmoush plays, suddenly the balls are being crossed. Suddenly people are on the edge of the box.
They cross the ball, we've got no height in there.
Yeah, exactly, Governor. Yeah, and Haaland must be sat on the bench going, hang on a minute.
You just said Newcastle away, 21 shots, 8 on target.
No, Newcastle home.
Carry on here. Leeds away.
No, but like, if them tap-ins, if they go in, it's a different game. And they're the fine margins in that game, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are, Governor. But also on the other side of that, to go 1 or 2 down, then the heads went. And that's a huge worry, because what happens if we play when we play Arsenal? If we're dominating for 20 minutes, Arsenal score on the break, we're going to fold again. West Ham weekend, and people are saying, "Oh, West Ham, that'll be all right. We'll worry about Real Madrid." West Ham will not be all right. They are fighting for their bloody lives at the moment. That's going to be really tough. And if we turn up like we did at Leeds, we'll get beat. And certainly if we turn up like we did at Madrid after 20 minutes. So I'm just saying there are concerns. And I think we are better than what we're showing. All them games I listed, I personally think our squad is much better than what I've seen as in the past 6-7 weeks.
Can I ask a question? Because this really, I mean, I talked with you after the game, didn't I, Tone, when we did it on Instagram. I said that first substitution, Reinders coming on, was... what on earth was that about? I'm sorry, but I've said it for weeks, if not months now, but he has not made a difference really. I know he scored a few goals, I know he's had a few assists here and there, but they're in small patches. To make a difference, to get control of that midfield in that second half, no. He was completely anonymous. I didn't understand the substitution. I've not seen one person who's commented and said that's what should made sense at all. Did it make sense to any of you guys? Because I just couldn't understand it.
I couldn't understand it.
No. Again, for me, I think he's choosing physicality over.
Then why not bring on a?
Why didn't you bring Nico G on then?
Yeah, why not bring Nico G? If you're looking for.
I'm gonna say something people ain't gonna like. It's not my opinion. I don't think Nico G is long for this world. Sorry, long for Manchester City. Jesus, I don't mean he's dying. Long for Manchester. I just don't think he fancies him.
Well, how can he fancy Reinders when Reinders just hasn't turned up really?
No, that's right.
If you compare Nico G's first half of the season to this point of the season where we are now, I'm sorry, but who's been the better player?
I can't do
Reinders or Nico G.
When I've been told for 3 weeks we all need to sell him. Can't do the Foden stuff. I'm not doing the Foden stuff when everyone's literally ripped him apart for a month and a half. This is my thing. This is, and again, I know it's emotions, and I know this is what I mean by we want to rip all these players apart, and then we go, why aren't they coming on? It can't work that way. We can't slag them off for 4 weeks and then suddenly go, hey mate, would you want to come on?
But who's slagging him off? Who's slagging him off?
Oh, Jesus. I'm not going to go into it because I get told.
Yeah, but hang on. I think
I do enough of these shows and see enough of the comments to hear what I'm reading.
But as Connor said that though, I don't think he has.
No, I don't mean to Connor. I'm talking about in general.
No, but this is the point though. I mean, you're looking at the bench, and I'm sorry, but I would rather have Foden on than Reinders. I'd rather have Cherky on than Reinders. I'd rather have Nico G on than Reinders.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah.
There were players on that bench that could have made more of a difference than Reinders. So please, can someone answer the question? Like, why did Pep make that substitution? Why was that the first?
I think to get control in the midfield.
But Reinders has not shown any sort of control in any of his games so far.
Who were our two best players?
So who do we bring on? Because that bench last night.
Three.
Right, well,
now
I'm on here. Everyone getting emotional here. Calm down, guys.
There's no one else on the bench, has he?
Right. But here's my thing, right? And I'm going to go majority, right? So you had Ake. Nobody wants and he wasn't gone in the summer. Right? Bettinelli's a goalie. Cherka, maybe, but he's creation. He's not going to do what Reinders will do in the midfield. He can't. This is Pep's even explained this.
Didn't we need creation though?
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm trying to.
And he does
control. Guys, jump down the rabbit hole, you lot. This is why Pep made the comment last week about Cherky and his hold-up play and everything else that needs to improve. Yeah, great creator, but needs to improve at holding the ball, laying it off simpler. But you learn that he's still he's 22. In a brand new league, he's going to learn it.
What's Reinders' excuse?
I don't think. I think Reinders has had a so-so season. I think Reinders is suffering from what a lot of our players have: is first season syndrome.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with him, Martin.
First season syndrome.
I think next season he'll come on. But like you say,
I just think patience has gone. Because if we're doing this with Reinders, then we'd have sold 8 of our legends. 8 of them would have gone, including Mahrez, including Sterling, including Bernardo, including Rodri, and I can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
You'd have ditched them all if you'd have got rid of them.
Do you know what, though? The argument I'd have to that... Sorry, Tony.
No,
the argument I'd have to that is that those players, I saw something from. You could see there was real quality. There was real. I'm trying. I may not be getting it right, but I'm trying. From Reinders, I've not seen that. I've not seen that when he has a bad game, he's learnt something. He's learnt from that mistake, or he tries that bit harder. Every time I see him, like he's got a smile on his face, like I'm okay. Like I'm sorry, but no. And then lately, it's more. My head's down. I know I've done a bad job. I think for me, and there is quality. We know there is because he was doing it in Serie A last season. But there are some times where certain players just are not good enough. The league isn't for them, and it could be that is just it. I haven't completely written him off, but at the moment, I've not seen enough from him to say that he suits either Man City or he suits the Premier League. And he hasn't done it in Europe either.
I tell you what.
Go on, Tom.
I was just going to say, I think with Reinders, there is no one better in the squad that I've seen at finding the space. Is he doing enough when he's in it? No. He missed 3 chances. He should have had hat-trick against Newcastle. He actually played really well in that game, bar the finishing, which was shocking. But I definitely see glimpses of what he can do, and that's what frustrates us all on here, because we know he is good. You can see he's a good player. He's not a bad player. It's just we want more from him. I think he's been underwhelming more than disappointing. I don't think he's been bad. I just think he's been not. When we saw him at Wolves, we were like, Christ, this flipping heck, we got a player. Yeah. He just hasn't built on that.
Yeah.
Can I just question? Because why do you think City are after all the midfielders? Because I keep hearing, no, exactly. So I keep hearing our midfield is not good enough. It's not. I agree. Pep agrees. Hence, we want to buy 2 midfielders in the summer. We're not buying squad midfielders. We're wanting to buy first team ready midfielders. Hence why Pep says we will be better next season. So that's where I do disagree with Tone a little bit of. This midfield is our weakest spot. We all agree to that. We know that. Do you think they want to spend 80 million quid or whatever on Elliot Anderson because, he's just going to come and sit on our bench? He's bringing him in because he knows he's a damn good player.
Yeah, Martin, they are going to be playing first team because you're going to have Bernardo gone and you're going to have Rodri gone.
Yeah.
So they will be first team players.
Maybe this midfield just needs a little overhaul. People aren't ready for what's coming. Well, I think people, and this is just my opinion, I think people have took their eye off the ball of the rebuild.
I also think fullback is a problem for us. And you may think I'm mad for saying that because O'Reilly was brilliant the first half of the season, but it's not his natural position. And I'm kind of thinking, square holes in square space, I've messed that up, but you know what I mean.
Different days.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Godman. I just think, there's nothing wrong with having the rotation. There's nothing wrong with having squad depth. But when you've got 2 players who are midfielders by trade in the full-back areas who have done well, but it's like, why? I understand. I mean, you were making the point earlier, Marty, is like, you had Kuzanov at right back, and Pep had him on because of the pace. We get that, but at the same time, it's like, you've got him on for the pace, and yes, he's a very good defender, but you haven't played him there enough for him to go to the Burnabout and suddenly turn up and do it. And then you take O'Reilly, and who's been doing really well in the midfield, he's been one of our best midfielders in the Premier League the last 6-7 games, and then you put him straight back at left back. So for me, it's like, if you're going to keep chopping and changing it, and it shows us a problem that we haven't got. Now, Aït-Nouri, for me, since he's come back from the AFCON, has really come on leaps and bounds. I don't know if he was injured or not. I mean, that's still up in the air. But if he wasn't, then I think that was a mistake. You should be having him on. He should be starting. And then with Núñez doing as well as he's done, why drop him all of a sudden? He's been the more regular right back.
He explained it.
I know he did, but for me, it's like...
You just don't agree with his explanation.
No, which is fine. I just don't... What I'm trying to say is that not only is our midfield a problem, but I also think the fullback issues are a problem. I think Aït-Nouri slightly starts solving that problem, but I just think the balance is that if you're going to completely go to the Burnabout and just completely rip it up and change it, there's a problem. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
If you can't start your regular first 11, your best 11 that needs to be on that pitch, then there's a problem.
So who covers Vinny Jr.?
I agree.
Núñez is going forward. Who covers Vinny Jr. then?
Well, Nunes, because that's, I mean, he
well, it wouldn't. That's what Pep was saying.
Hang on. Wasn't he playing when we won 2-1 at the Bernabeu? Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was playing.
Yes.
And we won 2-1.
Yeah.
So why are you taking him off if he did the job at the Bernabeu last time? And no,
because I think
I do that job.
As it was knockout last night. I think he's gone there because he went so attacking up front. He wanted to be a little bit more not as attacking from the back. What I think he was doing was, and maybe this is where I agree with Simon's comment, our wingers were the problem last night a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
One thing I will say is I think he wanted to solidify from the defence, stop Vinny Jr., and then the wingers go. The wingers are the ones who get up and down. Because if you look, he doesn't normally play Savio with Nunes. He doesn't. There's certain combinations he doesn't do. Because it'll work if you're docking your Savio invert into the middle, then your fullbacks can get round the back. But if you've got your two wingers going and then your two fullbacks going, they're just going into each other's spaces at that point.
But Martin, this is a European game.
Going to do the fullbacks.
Martin, it's a European game. You don't have to overlap. Cousinov could have just stayed where he was. He didn't have to overlap. On the other side, if Ain't Nori was playing, he could have overlapped with Doku, but he wasn't playing. O'Reilly could have done the same. You could do it down one side, but down Vinny's side, Cousinov could just stay where he is. He doesn't have to overlap. He can stay and do his job.
I don't think he was worried about the other side. I think he was worried. For some reason, he had Vinny Jr. on the mind last night. He was shit scared of Vinny Jr.
Well, Bernardo shouldn't have been over there. Bernardo should have stayed in the middle and not roamed everywhere.
I think this comes down to where Pep have made several mistakes. He made the mistake of, as you just said, we just concentrate on Vinny Jr. as being the only problem you're going to have out of the attacking lineup, because Valverde, like I said, I mean, he can produce things, and he did hat-trick. I mean, and then it's a starting lineup, you know, and going with that starting lineup of going to the Bernabeu and basically thinking, I'm going to outscore Real Madrid. They're in a position where they've got half their best squad out, and they've got a bunch of kids on there, and they're not Real Madrid of old. I think he basically just thought, we're going to win this easily. And he just disrespected Real Madrid and disrespected them on their home turf.
I think fans did.
Yeah, I
think we all did.
Just on the lineup, the thing I said on the Insta thing yesterday was Nunes, who's had a really good season right back. Everyone's raving, dropped. Ain't Nuri's been playing really well the last month. Really well, I think. I think he's been terrific out on the left. Good option, dropped. Yeah. The guy that's just won player of the month in the centre of midfield suddenly found himself back out on the left again for the guy that should be playing out on the left, who's been playing really well. And it's those sort of switches. I don't think Kusanov playing is I don't think it's his fault we lost or anything like that. But you see what I'm raising here. When it's like, who were the two best players when we played Newcastle in the Cup? Marmoush and Nico G. Nico G didn't get on at all. Marmoush come on for 8 minutes because Haaland did sod all. Not all Haaland's fault, but he did nothing.
The two best players were what? So like Newcastle in the Cup?
Yeah. Nico G, Marmoush, is that? Oh,
Savino got man of the match. What are you doing here, Tom?
Yeah,
he's making a good point, though. And to be honest,
he loves.
I think Savino got man of the match.
Savino got man of the match.
He got that brilliant kind of goal. Do you know what I mean? And yes, he went forward and had the pace and tricky and did really well. But I'm sorry.
And you two say I've got agendas. You two have got the biggest Savio agenda going. You two, you hate the kid.
No, I don't hate the kid at all. I really wanted to work out, but he wasn't the right option. This isn't on him last night entirely. He was put on the pitch, he didn't do brilliantly. But again, this all really comes back down to Pep. He made the mistake. He underestimated and he disrespected the Real Madrid team. At the end of the day, as I said, we slapped them in some respects 2-1 at Bernabeu a few months back. They haven't forgotten that, and they wanted a scalp. They turn up in this competition because it means so much to them. Yep. And Pep just completely
which is why I said
ignored that.
I was 1-1 in it. I sort of got a bit giddy the day before and went 2-1, but I was 1 because I said Real Madrid in the knockouts turn up. Doesn't matter what team they get out, they turn up. I don't know why they've got this madness in that stadium where they can be totally shit. There's a reason they've won the Champions League 16 times or whatever it is, because they know what to bloody do in the thing.
Well, Martin, I got a question for you. Hi, guys. I agree with you 100% what you just said. Now, here's the other thing. I'm looking back at the Real Madrid game in the fall. Did Pep do a madness? No. He played pretty much the same group that he'd been playing with in the previous weeks that had been winning. Full well knowing that this is a knockout. Martin, to your point, exactly. Real Madrid come alive in the knockout stages, etc. Why would you go and try to overhaul your setup so much to be so cheeky instead of, well, you know what? I've had really good luck with what's been working. Rodri with Nico O'Reilly. We can have overlaps with Ait Nori and Doku. Our midfield's a little bit more solid. If you want to take Koshin off, put him on, Nunez off, I get it. Fine, fair. But why make so many risky changes when you're at Real Madrid? And we all know they come alive. Like, not to mention, here's the last thing I'll say, is that 3-1-6 setup that basically was the case off ball was exactly what Bodo Glimt humiliated us with. And Man United the week before. Why go back to that? We all know Rodri can't be on his own, and that's not a diss to him at all. You just can't do it. What would you do this for? Okay, I'm better now.
By the way, we just aren't good enough at the minute in that. Listen, is where I disagree. Are we good enough to win a league? Yes. Are we good enough to win a Champions League? No. We were, and I'm not playing the I told you so. I predicted we win that. I'm going to be honest. Me and Tone talked about this privately earlier. That's why I really couldn't give a shit about this competition this year. And I got that feeling being in the ground at the games. Fans just didn't seem to get with this comp at the minute because I think all eyes were going to the domestic stuff. I think everyone's eyes were on domestics. And I know Pep loves this competition and he wants it. But again, I will say it again, we're not willing to spend 150, 170 million on midfielders in the summer because we don't know the midfield's the problem. We know the midfield's the problem. We just need to get to the summer to finish the rebuild. I think some have got caught up in the quad talk from a couple of weeks back, and we're back, and we're this amazing team, and we're going. If we beat West Ham on Saturday, and then we go and beat Arsenal in the cup, are we still shit and still Pep out? This is where I'm so confused this season. No, but this is when I'm a bit confused this season. What is a successful season? Because we're challenging for the league. That's what everyone said they wanted. Challenge for the league. We're in a cup final. We're in the quarters of another cup final. One more game away from Wembley. But what was the objectives are changing constantly, and this for me is causing the emotional meltdowns because people are 1 week going. I think, and by the way, I've said this. This is all a football thing at the minute. Arsenal fans, 1 minute they're amazing. Arsenal fans, some were having a meltdown last night because they drew against Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a meltdown this year.
Yeah. The thing is, Martin,
the world's gone
Martin, like you said, we're in other competitions. We're second in the league, right? But Pep makes these bozo decisions, 3 or 4 times in a year. I don't understand how he makes these decisions.
As he always does.
The thing is, the governor, I think sometimes he can make these bozo moments, but sometimes he makes these decisions, and sometimes we look at it and we kind of go, you're scratching your head and you're kind of going,
yeah,
I don't get this, and then we'll win the game and we'll all go, oh my God, he's a genius. The problem with Pep is that he's so mad and so brilliant that sometimes he's his own worst enemy because he'll do these things.
The ones he's done that in. the thing why I'm saying that is the ones we've done it in, we've got beat, and that's why we're scratching our head. Why has he changed it?
Yeah, and Matt has kind of made that point, hasn't he? I've made that point. I think a few of us have made that point. Is that he'd made these changes, and it was just like, what on earth? If it had paid off and we'd have won that game, we'd all be going, he's a bloody genius. He's so mad that
that's the point of that. That's what I said. There's a thin line between genius and madness, because you sit on that line and you go, and like you said, if that had worked last night, we'd have all gone, fucking hell, what a genius.
Yeah, but Martin,
with the Pep of the Chelsea final where he doesn't play a 6. So this is what gets when people go, Pep's always done it. Pep's always made these silly decisions.
But Martin, this is what I agree with Governor at, right? You've seen a 3-1-6 has gotten you blown away. Blown away.
In the Champions
League. And you go.
And in the Premier League, Manchester United, we got destroyed.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, Ed. I think that's where we can distinctly say that, yes, these moments happen where Pep does something mad and it becomes genius. The problem that he's done is that he hasn't learned from those games where it really hasn't worked in United, the Bodo Glint, and against Real Madrid. It hasn't worked, and he hasn't learned from it, especially when it comes to big moments. It's like, we appreciate you can do these mad things, Pep, that will work sometimes. But if you've done it in two of the big games and it's shown that it hasn't worked, it's all gone to pieces, don't do it again.
Well, I can go back to Leon.
Real Madrid.
Does everyone remember the Leon game?
Yeah.
I know that everyone thinks Pep's lost his mind. Pep's always been on that borderline of this, especially in this competition. I don't know why this competition and Pep just seems to send him a bit, this is where I'm going to do it. But I'm sorry for sounding happy clappy here. I apologise. But that was our first defeat in 12 games.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying, Martin. We're on a good run, and then he goes and does that, changes the team.
So was we meant to win every game we were in now moving forward?
No,
I guess this is the business end. The business end is where we start playing, and we're playing well.
We're not going to win the quad. We're not going to win the quad. We were always going to go out of one of them, unless you genuinely said we're winning the quad.
Yeah, but hold on a second. But wait. Hold on. So this
say we're going to win the quad.
Wait, but this is also a little unfair. Hold on. When you look back at the treble, and once he figured everything out and we got informed, he played the same group almost religiously. Same formation, same guys, unless they were injured or dying of exhaustion. It was the same. And that consistency is what got us all those wins. What I'm annoyed with is when you're consistently getting embarrassed by one formation, that 3-1-6, when you're dropping points early in January with the 3-1-6, at that point, it makes no sense to continue that. Then to shift away, which he did, which was great, he got us moving. He got the midfield better. Rodri's in there, has some backup. Everything's looking good. Okay, we're getting some momentum. Let's go back to the 3-1-6. It's like almost being too cute for the purpose of being cute, overthinking it, or maybe it's trying to make perfection be the enemy of the good. That's why I'm really frustrated. But that's really it.
I agree totally.
I want to move off this subject. We're going to be here till we've still got 2 more subjects to get through. So I want to know you
let me vent, guys. Too. I appreciate it.
Forget 115. He's nagged with 3-1-6.
Listen, for me, because I've had a lovely, like I said, lovely loads of abuse today of fucking nappy clapper because I'm not Pepper. Listen. I'm going to reiterate it. People are like, no, I'm not going to sack Pep. People are having to go at Caldoon this morning because he's not sat by 9 a.m. this morning.
That's wild.
That's not the way our football team works. We are not going to do that, guys.
Yeah, but Martin, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to call you out on this.
Go on, because you were telling me you wanted Enrique in earlier.
No, I did not. I've never said that. Never have I said that, you bloody stirrer. Martin, you choose to go on certain show channels and chats, and that's where you see this bullshit. And then you come on and say, this is what the fan base is saying.
You read
They're
the
not
comments in
saying
this show last night.
It weren't that bad, but you
Go
chose
on
to go in other
All
show
right, I'll
channels.
read some of them. Hang on, I'll read some of them.
No,
Please,
don't
let's not drag it up, mate. Don't do that.
Yeah, I
You started
noticed you
something
come
else,
on here. Yeah. So I apologise. But Martin, you know what you do. You do the same thing every time. I call you out every time on this bloody show, and I say you go on them chats. You choose to go on them channel chats, and then you come off of it and go, they've been bloody negative. What do you expect? They're clickbait shows. That's
Okay,
what
then.
they're
All
for.
right. So, what do you make of FPL's tweet today? Because this really has caused some fire.
You put it on the
FPL
screen.
Main Road. There's something I find oddly satisfying about losing and seeing all the random accounts from around the world who tried to use City's previous success crumble. I'll see a tweet from someone about wanting Pep, Haaland, Rodri to be sold. They'll be making out like they've just spent thousands in Madrid and have been let down and are going to stop supporting City. I'll check their account location and it'll be something like USA or Nigeria.
No, I don't agree with that. Look, we have amazing worldwide fans. And
that's from a huge account on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know that is, but it's more, and I do not agree with that at all.
I agree. I don't agree with, especially don't agree with the last part of it because I don't agree with
No,
it.
and I'll say on that, we have amazing worldwide support. I know loads of people from all around the world that I've met through socials, and you do, and they're amazing fans who spend a lot of money on merch and paying to watch the team in their own way, getting up at bloody 4 a.m. Great fans. There are bloody knobhead fans everywhere, whether it's the US, Italy, Spain, England as well. There are knobheads everywhere. So no, that tweet is wrong, and in my opinion.
I think this is what's causing it. Do you think there's so much split now? Do you think because some have gone so far over the top one way, it's making people to defend back the other way? It's like last night, and I get there's idiots, totally agree with you. It's generally the minority of the loudest, I agree with you. But obviously, we all saw the fans last night. We're in the stadium, and they were clapping at the end. Some of them got. There was comments underneath of this is the problem with the fan base. This is the problem with the club. You should not be clapping them at the end. And I think that's the bit that's riled some of this up today. Of these guys have spent thousands going out there, and you're saying they're the problem. And I think it's a bit tit for tat right now. And I agree with Rich earlier. Right now, we need to be together, and that's the last thing we are is together.
I can tell you, Martin, right? When I said what I just said on X, I don't know, 18 months ago, whatever, I got a shit ton of abuse from more local fans saying, how dare you bloody go against us, and, you know, the foreign fans, da-da-da-da-da. They were in my DMs and so on as well, giving shit. So those people are about. But I just don't agree with that narrative at all. I don't, not at all. You got Pat who lives overnight. He's up all bloody hours watching.
Yeah, and I don't disagree.
Yeah, because he doesn't live next door to Mike Summerby. Does that mean he didn't support City? You know, it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
I think what it is people are so loud. The haters are so loud with it. I think that's the problem.
But the haters could be from anywhere.
Yeah,
that's my
small minority.
I don't think what it is, Martin. I think you've got fans that go away religious, right? I don't think they even see things like that. These are people that are just sat on keyboards anywhere in the world, writing things like that. Them fans that go week in, week out and religious, and I used to do more away games when I was there than home games. You don't listen. I mean, there was no probably social media when I was going, but you know what I mean? They don't listen to all that. They know what they're watching.
Yeah.
There is another big one here that people don't realise is there are a lot of these so-called social media people saying this. A lot of them are bots. there are a lot of bots on social media that are causing a lot of problems, and they're being flooded to do these type of things to cause problems. Because you know why? Because it makes this.
Yeah, Ozzy, you're 100% correct. There was an article, I think 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I think it was the Financial Times talking about the bots.
I think.
Yeah, they said something like 80% of all interactions you'll have on the internet now are bot generated or some ungodly amount. So just watch out who you're talking to, because it's likely just nonsense to do exactly what you said.
But on the other side,
it's getting worse because AI is making these more intelligent.
Well,
and
I will name
responses are coming back.
I don't care if it comes after me. City Chief is a huge thing, huge account, like 400,000 followers. Yeah. And have you seen the hatred they come out with?
Yeah, and 260,000 of them are bots.
That's not a bot account.
No, but
and they just spill venom every week.
Yeah, but
well, I was listening. I was listening to a CEO of an AI company, and he was saying that it's at the moment it's out of control. He said, "My job now is to make it safe." That was his job at the moment, to make it safe.
The problem is getting that genie back in the bottle. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, you never, mate. The genie went out the bottle when the treble season happened. I think this is part of the issue. Is people are so desperate to get back to that era of treble 4 in a row, and I've had people said they disagree with me on that. That is never happening unless we rebuild this squad big time. That took 7 years to land into. That doesn't land in 12 months.
The problem is, though, Mike, we may never repeat.
That's my point. We may never do it ever again.
Yeah, and the only manager that I think at the moment that I can ever see us doing that with in a sooner rather than later is Pep, because he's done it and he's proven that he can do it. Because he's not only done it, the treble is in the treble, but he's also done the domestic treble. He's done 100
For me,
points.
though, like I agree with some of that point. I don't know if it's necessarily the 4P in the treble. I think it's being the clear favorites. I think people have an issue that we're not. People used to go into games thinking, "Oh, that's a City win. That's a City win. That's a City win," and now people are thinking, "Then we might lose this. I don't want to get embarrassed." I think people want to go in a game thinking you're the clear-cut favorite, and that's just not sports.
But you know, Ed, the thing with that though is that there is a reason, because we have dominated the Premier League. We've dominated. You know, over the last 15 years, what we've won the last 8 Premier Leagues. Do you know what I mean? That is a massive dominance by one club. Do you know what I mean? In such a short period of time. You look at United, they had dominance, but they had it over a longer period of time. The same with Liverpool. So for us to do it with one manager, to have this dominance over the league has been massive. But you know what's happened to the league since Pep got into the league? You've come more and more big owners with more money have been able to pump in more money into the likes of Villas, into the likes of Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth, Brighton. They've been able to pump in the money, and you look at some of these squads, and most of them have at least got one world-class player who could play in the Champions League on a regular basis, or they've got a couple of those players that could be playing at the top level in any of the top European clubs. The league is becoming more and more competitive with these type of teams coming in and making it so difficult for one team to absolutely dominate the league at the moment.
Well, Ozzy, to kind of build off that, but a little bit of a pushback, I would say too. Would you guys say honestly that with some of the players that we've had that have moved on, either they've aged out or just want to try something different, that we've actually replaced them as close to 1-for-1 for possible? Like Mahrez, do we actually have an actual winger that is close to that level? I'd say no. Maybe Semenyo in time, but not now. Would you say a Gundo replacement, a KDB replacement, a Walker replacement? Maybe in a couple of years, but we've also dropped, our ceiling because of that, because we haven't. Martin, I think you said we're not going to go pay 120 million pounds to go bring in as close to a like for like if De Bruyne, if you can find one. So that could be it too, no?
can I just go on that? But the thing is, when Gundo joined, it took him time. The first year, it took him time. So maybe Reinders, if there's anyone that I think who can find a space and sneak in, maybe Reinders will be that player in time. Mahrez is a good point, but I think Mahrez is terrific. But let's not make out he was a mass part of stuff in the last year. He was on that bench more than he wasn't for that last year. I'm not saying he's not a good player.
Tone, I looked this up. Every year he'd been at City, his GA, if you take it or leave it, had been a minimum of, I think, 22 was the lowest and 32 was the highest. None of our wingers that we've brought in have come close to that in a single year.
But
and
there is two reasons for that. Sorry, Tone.
No, Ozzy, you go.
There are two reasons for that. One is because you are never going to replace the big superstars in your team like for like. You're not going to replace the KDBs, the Agueros. You're going to be able to replace them with different types of players, and hopefully they will be big superstars. But it doesn't always happen. And then the other reason, just to get onto your wingers point, is you look at the likes of Doku and Savio. How young were they when they first came into City? You compare that to Mahrez. When Mahrez came in, he was 25. He'd already been doing it.
But Ozzy, that's my point. But that's my point.
No,
right?
no, I know that's the point you're making. But I'm saying this is the reason these players haven't kicked on just yet. Is you look at Doku, it's his third season now, and he really has kicked on from when he first joined the club. Savio is only his second season. And,
I agree with you, Ozzy, but that was, and I'm just using this as an example. I know we don't deal with this club. The Napoli winger, right? We should have gotten somebody of that caliber.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm talking
somebody
about.
Like that. Not saying him, because I know we don't deal with that club, but that is the type of winger we should be in the market for. Doku and Savinho, yes, with time, are great, and they're still learning. Doku is fabulous with what he does, but at the same time, in crucial moments, we're still lacking something. And I think it's unfair. I think it's kind of somewhat unfair. I know he gets paid the big bucks, but when it's Haaland or bust, you're putting yourself in a.
But no, I don't. I think people. This is the part. I think people got to realize they're not going to ever pay the big bucks. I'm sorry, they won't.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that because they did try to buy Wirtz and he chose Liverpool.
Yeah, but they weren't going to pay 130 million, and you know that, so they're never getting anywhere near that.
Yeah, but they were going to pay over 100 for him, and that's a big chunk of change.
They were at less.
I don't. But I think when they went for Wirtz, they saw him as the next KDB. I mean, clearly he's not going to be anywhere near that level right now, but. When City lose these players, I don't think they go out and buy someone less on purpose or don't try to buy the best player that they possibly can. I think they do, but it takes time.
So you're telling me they went from wanting to spend 100 million on Wirtz to 30 million for Cherka?
Do you think we would have bought Wirtz for 30 million?
No, I'm not saying we would. I'm not saying we would, but Tone, this is the same board who didn't see Elise at 65 million.
No,
do you know what? I think the problem is,
or Bruno G at 100.
He won't
would have solved a bunch of problems.
I think the thing is that you go back to when we were looking at those players. Well, not apart from Wirtz maybe, but you look at some of the players. It was under Cheeky who probably let the ball drop over the last few seasons he was here. With Viana, you've seen an actual change with his policy.
Yeah,
he's actually brought in January. He went out and spent big money in some respects on 2 class players. So to me, that's a big change already that he's gone out there and actually said, I've identified 2 players in the Premier League that can come and make a difference. And I think as we go on, we will see this. I think when Martin's coming up, sorry, I was just going to, I think Martin.
No, not at you. I was
not going to spend the big.
Hang on, this because Cherky was never 80 million. They would never have paid 80 million for Cherky, Cade. Never in a million.
And I agree with you. My only point was when we had that fall off with some of those players, those big holes, those gaps, Doku and Savinho are fine to bring in. But like you said, and I agree 100%, they're really young. But we didn't bring someone in who was that 25, 26-year-old, like maybe a Semenyo now, to really kind of bridge that gap to a degree to give the younger guys who don't have that experience that cover to start building. We just threw them into the deep end and said, okay, let's hope for the best. And I think we did that with a few too many positions that may take time, to your point, but we never got that kind of that middle of the road guy. We went, let's go young, like Kuzanov. I'm in agreement with Martin. I think he's going to be phenomenal. I love what I see with this guy, but he's young, he's inexperienced. But what I'm saying is, like, but when Walker left, you can't say, okay, well, Walker's out, so we're going to bring in Kuzanov. Like, that's way too much of a gap to bridge if you still want to perform well.
You can't have them that way.
Totally agree. And I think that's why Cheeky made dropped the ball over the last few seasons of transfers. Basically, that, and we identified that like previous shows over the last couple of seasons, that he really dropped the ball, and that we relied on these two young wingers, for example, and it just didn't work. We needed to have players that had a bit more experience, 25, 26, 7-year-olds that could really rotate and keep us ticking over until these players eventually matured and become the players we hope they will be. And I think
you've got to grow into the position.
Yeah.
But we're not allowing them to grow in the position because we've got to do it now.
Yep. And I think that's where some of the ire comes from, is people still have those expectations, but it's not fair to put them on some of these players that are really young and inexperienced. So
but
you're kind of like,
then you get you don't like this player, you think he's shit. No,
but this is the thing though, Martin. Like
the club,
well, that's why you've got to spend the money then.
The club hasn't even recognized that, right?
Agree,
the club
Governor.
hasn't even recognized that. You don't go and get a Gahey if you think Huznov has the time, right? You want to bring in Gahey to win now and still bring along Huznov so he can learn, right? You don't bring a Semenyo if you're that comfortable saying Doku and Savinho, we're going to give you all the playing time to learn and everything. No, you're doing that because you want to win.
Yeah, maybe, Ed, but you're also bringing in Gahey because John Stones and Ake can't play barely without getting injured. And the options were very, very
and
limited.
it's proven.
Sign.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. So you don't have that big gap.
And by the way, that was Euros, Simon.
Yeah,
and we negotiated
that's right.
for 6 weeks on Gavardio. They wouldn't pay
No, it was 90 million euros. It was 77 million pounds.
It was close to 80 million, wasn't it? Like,
80 million pounds.
Well, what's the world record? They didn't pay a world record. They wouldn't pay it.
I think our money won 100 million.
It was
just
Gahey is a prime example where it comes straight in. There's no change with Gahey. We're not waiting for him to come good. We've bought him and he's good.
Facts.
Like this, sell Haaland. I've seen this today. Sell Haaland. Well, we're selling Haaland. Jesus, then everyone's up for sale then.
You might as well.
Yeah, Haaland's not going. The right back is absolutely spot on. The right back is a big issue. They've not replaced Walker. I'm always amazed when people say, we don't need one really now. Just get a backup to Nunes. We don't need a backup to Nunes. We need a bloody right back. And Nunes has done a good job. But why do we continue to play these bloody players that are midfielders and so on at right and left back? Just buy a bloody right back. Buy Livramento. If that's the one you want, go and buy him. He's not going to renew at Newcastle by the looks of it. He is apparently being looked at. Just buy the lad. Just buy a right back.
So what would you pay for him? Say Newcastle say 80 million.
What, he's got a year left?
He's got more than a year. I think he's got
more than a year.
About
2.5 years.
I thought he had one, and they were trying to get him.
No, I think he's got. I think he's.
No, they're just trying to tie him down onto a new.
They are trying to tie him down to a new.
I thought it was 2 years.
I tell you what.
2 years, okay.
Is it?
50?
No, he's got 3. Yeah, he's got 2 years. He's got 2.5 years left.
There you go.
Yeah, in the summer he had 2. In the summer, he had 2.
So and they're asking 80 million quid for him.
And we know about his history, don't we? We know about his injury, so it's a gamble buying him for that kind of money.
And can I just?
I'll tell you what. Lewis Hall. I was just going to say, Lewis Hall, like for them, has been probably one of the standout players of the season for me.
Yeah,
yes, he's good, but wow, I mean, Lewis Hall, I think has been absolutely incredible. He's been one of the best players in the midfielder.
I've actually joked about it in the chat, saying can't Pep convert him to the right?
Yes. Well, I mean, that's what I would look at trying to do.
There's this thing at the minute of City you've spent all this money, which brings us nice into this City hate part. Is City you've spent half this billion and we should be winning and blah, blah, blah. I had a look at this today and I broke it all down. In that signings, we've included Sabinho for 25 million euros, Victor Hayes at 37, not here. Juma Bar's in that, not here. Yeah. Kushinov was 40 million euros. Yeah. Gonzalez, 60 million, about 55 million pounds. Omar Mamouche was about 62 million pounds, 75 million euros. So out of that was 24, 25 seeds, including the winter. So we bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Martin,
6
I've got to
players.
go. Sorry to interrupt.
I know you have.
Mate.
We bought 6 players, and only 2 of them
Take care, Tom.
are actually first teamers, really. So then we go to this summer, to where people have really got into this thing of 25, 26, right? So we'll start off. We brought in Claudio Echeverria, Save Naipam, Yankutu we sold on, but we brought in Bettinelli, Mark Gay, Donnarumma was only 26, James Trafford was 29 million. So again, he's not a first teamer. Yeah. And then you've got Eight Noret, Reinders, and Semenyo. And Semenyo and Mark Gay were bought in January. So the other money was Donnarumma, Cherka, Eight Noret, and Reinders. That was your summer, basically.
Yeah, because
so,
they had to do outgoings, yeah.
Yeah, it's great to do all this. We spent $500 million, but then I've got to start including Echeverria then and all that into this.
Well, you
I've
know,
got to
half of
start
them, Martin, are never going to see the first team.
Yeah.
For me, that's just business.
Yeah. So
you
this is why I don't buy into this. Spend $500 million.
You own them out, shop window.
Out of the signings we made in the last 12 months, who was first team ready? And I mean ready. Donnarumma, Cherka, there's Donnarumma, Cherka, Reinders, some will say, Ain't Nora, Gay and Semenyo. And people have said Gay and Semenyo shouldn't have played last night because it was too big a stage. Well, if it's too big a stage, fuck me, then we're in trouble.
Why are we buying them?
What we're buying them for then, exactly.
Yeah.
This is where I'm getting confused on this money argument.
Well, it's just something to beat us over the heads with. You know, don't let the facts get in the way of a good narrative. Like today, Martin, in one of the comments, someone was saying, "Oh, we spent $600 million." I'm like, no, you did not spend $600 million in 12 months. It was 450. I could have gone through all of it.
Mention how much we also brought in at the same time and who we sold on.
No, that doesn't matter either. Remember, it's only what we could do to beat you over the head with it because it's narrative agenda driven.
But I'm going to say this is part of my issue here. Giovanni Reed. That's a project player again.
With hamstring issues.
That's a project player. So that's fine. Go and get Giovanni Reed, but then let's stop this. Go and win a treble then. Because Giovanni Reed ain't buying you. When we bought Kyle Walker from Tottenham at 50 million quid, he was one of the best right backs in the whole of Europe. He was not a project. He was ready-made in. I'm sick. Everyone wants to go back to kiddie creche and do Chelsea.
But I think with Viana, that has changed now because he has come in. And yes, you can go back to the January window when he first came in and he brought in some youngsters. But, you know, since he's really established himself, the summer and January, he's gone out there and he's bought players that are, you know, have made differences. Some more than others, obviously. But I think we are going to start seeing that change. But you've also, the other point would be, is that you've got to have a bench and you've got to have, you're never going to have quality. You're never going to have a first 11 on the bench and on the pitch. You're going to have players that are going to be able to do a good job, but maybe are not your star players that are going to start every game, like your Haalands, your Rodris. You need players on that bench that are always going to be quality, but maybe not so much quality that they're going to be able to produce what Haaland or Rodri does. But you still have to have them because you've still got to have some sort of quality to challenge those players. As I've always said, you've got to have a bench where that bench is wanting to get on that pitch. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
You're
just
to
tell you now, that is true, by the way, Ozza. Fabrizio has said we're not in for Livramento anymore.
Is it because of the injury record? Or just
I
too
think
much?
it's injury in the price they're quoting us. I think they're asking.
Yeah.
What I got told was it was world record fee to get him out.
No.
See,
No.
and people think this is a Chica and a Viana thing. It's not. It's actually above those two where that's come from.
Mm.
You need to speak to Caldoon.
The thing is
the boss man speaks. The boss man gets what he wants. Viana's not our boss. Caldoon's the boss. Guys, sorry. He's the guy.
But I also think, he's got 2.5 years on his deal. Okay, by the end of the season, it'll be 2. That's the position now where Newcastle are going to have to start thinking, like, we are not going to get probably into the Champions League for next season. We have not gone and kicked on and won another trophy, under Eddie Howe. Newcastle need to decide what they're going to do, because at the moment, they're not looking like a regular Champions League side. They're looking like, they can't handle it. They need to bring in better players. But the problem is the players that are currently there, the likes of Livramento, the likes of Bruno G, and a few others, they're going to start questioning, going, we want to play in these big games. We want to be challenging for the big trophies. And if you're not going to kick on and invest and get better, then I'm going to look at other options. At that point, Livramento might sit down with Newcastle and go, I've got 2 years left on my contract. Sit here offering you this. I want out. I don't want to make a stink like Isak did, but I also want to move on. I don't think I'm going to, be here. I don't want to be here because I want to try and do all these things. So it may come down to Newcastle may have to sell.
I'm not
a lot can change. A lot can change from now and the end of the season.
I don't think they're going for right back anymore. Do you know why? I think Nunez and Kushinov, I think he's happy with them.
I think if that was the case, Martin, we wouldn't be seeing what he did last night.
I'll put a cheeky one in here, Ozzy. If Arsenal don't win the league this season, what do you think Rice is thinking? I've come here to win things, and I've still not done it. Do I move on?
They're going to want a profit. Are you going to pay 130 million for Declan Rice?
I'm just saying, but he's ready-made. If you want ready-made and not project, that's what you've got to do.
I'd be shocked because he's turned us down.
No, I said for midfielders, if you want one midfielder, get Anderson. If you want 2, get Anderson and Tonali.
Yeah, I think you're going to want players that want to come. I mean, he chose to go. I think that deal was always too far down the line for City to come.
You can make a mistake.
You can, but I don't think City are going to go back to Declan Rice and really, unless he sticks up before and goes, I really want out of Arsenal, and then maybe. But I don't see us going back to Rice.
And we get him for 80 million quid. They're willing to take a 30 million pound loss on him, which they're not going to do.
No, I don't think so. I agree with what Ed just said. You've got to look at the next player. You've got to move on and look at who's going to come in and make that midfield better. And now, for me, that name is Anderson.
Can I just say this thing on the City hate is, I know I was joking with Sam earlier, but watch the show. I watched the show this week, and this is no thing on because I get it. People use City as a clickbait situation. It's like you hear all this. I was on Tariq's show the other day. Tariq, great guy.
Yeah.
Go and give it a watch and hit that subscribe button. Let's get him to 500 subs, guys. That'd be amazing. Link is in the description for Tariq. There was a conversation came up about fans and history and everything else. And there was an Arsenal fan come on, and he said, the trouble is with Arsenal and United fans, they don't leave. City fans have just become City fans. It's like, okay. And he continued, he said, so when did you become an Arsenal fan? He said 2004. So when Arsenal were winning,
God,
which is fine. I've not got a problem with that. My problem becomes when people hit City fans with the same stick. When you are successful, you will get new fans. The same way Man United was successful in the 90s, in the 2000s, and guess what? People all over the world started supporting him because that's what happens. It's not a problem with that. Not a problem at all. But, and it was like, he said, I used to be a Juve fan, but I wanted to join Arsenal. But, and Arsenal talk, and this because I'm not digging, I mean, Arsenal fans, Chelsea, they all talk about this respect thing of we're being disrespectful. But I was listening to a show the other day, and there were 5 panel members and the host, and it was Pep Guardiola has never improved a player, and he is nowhere near as good as whatever he couldn't do it in a lower team. He can't do it without money. He's never improved a player. He's never done this. And I was listening to one of them. I'm not going to name them because they're not here to defend themselves, but this is where the hate comes in. This is now being watched, by the way, by about 12,000 people. And what I then got told was Pep Guardiola forced Vincent Kompany out the door. Pep Guardiola forced Sergio Aguero to leave. You know the 2 guys who've got statues outside the stadium, but Pep forced them out. Etc. etc. People buy this, they believe this. And then one of them made a great point, which again, I know him, he's a mate of mine, we get on. I know he's not a big City fan, but he said, and it's fine, it's opinions. I do Arsenal stuff because it gets me views. I get it. Arsenal fans online and Liverpool fans online and United fans online are huge. I said this, Manchester City is still a relatively newish club to the top table over 10, 12 years. But City still had history. We'd still won FA Cups and League Cups. We'd won the title twice. We'd won the title. We'd come runners up 2 or 3 times in the league. I was talking with someone and they said, your legends are Sean Goater. I said, so not Matt Busby, Summerby, Dennis Law, Dennis Stewart, all these other people. And then he went, Matt Busby didn't play for you. I went, okay. Then I was on coach, so I was a Leeds fan during the weekend of the Leeds game. And we were talking about Leeds, great club, great issue. I said, the late, great, we've got something in common, Don Revere. He went, what do you mean in common, Don Revere? Didn't know Don Revie had played for Manchester City Football Club. Didn't know. Didn't know about the Bert Troutman broken neck in the cup. Didn't know about 34,000 people in Division 2. Didn't know City had held the attendance record still to this day in English football.
Yep.
And then I was looking at other stuff and I heard little things of, and I will name this guy, I don't mind it. He wants to call me out, he can call me out. Terry Flewers is not the biggest City supporter. I understand that he's a United fan, hates us, get it, 100% get it. But what I don't understand is Arsenal get a 2-1 win against Mansfield and it's character, mentality, great. City get beat last night and it was 600 million wasted. Well, no, we haven't spent 600 million. And it's like, this is just crazy. The 115 stuff. Manchester City getting a deducted 60 points. How? Or did Kieran Maguire say that could be a scenario? But I said to him, I said, well, why didn't you do City could be innocent? Because that doesn't sell. There you go then.
I think on the Tarek show, I was there, Martin, as well, listening. And I think he was, because Tarek was even saying he was a fan for so many years. And I think it was, they got to read up on the history. People think City started and the Premier League started. I think that's what he was trying to get across, where other fans of other teams don't know the history of City. And he was trying to get it out of them, if you know what I mean.
But is that not ignorance?
There it is. Yeah.
It's also the way society
I can't remember
is.
what year he started. Yeah. I can't remember what year he started following City, but that's what he was trying to get out of people. You know, the history of clubs where they started.
Yeah, and Martin, per the football terrace thing, I couldn't agree more with you. It does my head in. It's anytime Arsenal lose, it's Arsenal robbed, Arsenal, bad calls. If it's City win, it's the opposition team robbed? Question mark. It is the most agenda-driven agenda I have seen. I think AFTV has less of an agenda for Arsenal than the football terrace does. The numbers, everything, it drives me up the wall, and I see it. It increases in frequency. Like every day, if I go on YouTube, there'll be a new pro Arsenal video, either Terry Fleurs or the football terrace. And fair play to him because he's making money, and he's getting all the Arsenal fans to just watch and click but that is the
Well, here's
epitome
one
of
from
a
2
narrative.
weeks ago, Madel. This was on straight facts. 60 points deduction, Man City guilty.
Yeah, exactly. And there's that too. That's just to get under our skin. Oh yeah, 100%.
Are we guilty? I didn't know we were guilty.
But what are the most points we can get this season, Martin? Do you know?
The most points we can get this season.
87.
How many?
I think it's 88 or 89, isn't it? I thought.
There's 87.
So 87. So if we get a 60-point deduction, we still don't go down, do we?
Yeah.
Because
we'll go down.
You're saying it's 14 points. Say 14 points gets you the drop.
Yeah, puts us on 27 points and they're at 28 already.
Do you know what I mean? We still don't get down.
Yes, it does put us down. It does put us down. Now, listen, it's not a dig at Sam or Mo or Terry or other people who do it or the club and McCullough and all. It's fine. You can have your opinion. But just one thing I will say to Hussam, and people think, at least Hussam's honest. He says, you know what, I hate Sarah.
Yeah.
One thing I will do, Hussam is actually, people think he doesn't talk great about Sarah because he hates us. But you know what? He goes, I hate you. If someone says, you know what, I hate you, just be honest. I know what I'm expecting. But don't say, oh, I'm not saying I dislike Sarah. You are.
Especially when he says, no, the football terrace is impartial. We're here for all 6 clubs. And I just sit here and I'm like, dude, you're pissing on my leg and telling me it's raining outside.
Yeah,
no.
And that's not dig at Sam, by the way, because Sam's actually honest.
But why is that the fact that most City fans don't go on his channel? I haven't been on his channel. I know, Martin, I think you've been on once or twice in the past. But
no, I don't mind Sam. Do you know why?
No, I'm talking about Terry.
Sam? Oh, I won't touch it with a barge pole.
I know, because I
don't know Terry personally. I don't know him personally, so I can't judge him as a human being. He may be sound as a pound, but I find his views biased. I just do.
But as Hatter said, like the reasons they're doing that is because it's clickbait. It's where he gets his money. You know,
all agenda driven. Yeah.
It's so agenda, and the best thing that's ever happened for those big channels that have got now their City agenda is 115 and the dominance of City, because those things now are the reasons to click. Because as soon as you put 115 or you put 60-point deduction or you put in Pep's a fraud, it's going to get the clicks, it's going to get the views. Do you know what I mean? Because people want to hear it, because people love bad news. Bad news has always, and that's the biggest thing that's always been said, is bad news sells better than good. Nobody wants to hear City could be innocent. It doesn't sell.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this once. Oh, no, that's wrong. Continue to say this while I do this.
Can you guys imagine if we're found not guilty, what the titles of those videos are going to be from the
well, here's one for you now.
It'll be they're innocent. Do you know what I mean?
Brown paper bags.
Like that.
115 Man City. Now look at the headlines. This was the one on the overlap, which Luke, who is actually going to come on the channel soon. Luke, good friend.
Oh yeah,
he's going to come on the channel. Go and give MCFC lads a lot of love. Top guy. He gets a lot of stick. But City's 115 football fans, so that's where it all came from. City's 115 lawyer explains City's, yeah? 60 points, exclamation mark. Man City guilty on 115 charges, 6-point deduction, question mark. But the question mark wasn't guilty on 115. So here's Rory Jennings. The truth about City's 115, guilty. In the biggest, boldest capital. So when your eye goes straight to it, you see the word guilty.
It's not guilty or innocent. It's guilty.
Yeah, there's no innocent anywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. It's guilty with a question mark. There's never going to be innocent. Are they innocent? We're never going to get that because that's not what sells for these channels. And like I said, it's great. You know, Goldbridge, you know, Terry, whoever. Fair enough. They're making money from it. You know, I don't neglect anyone from having, you know, a business that makes them money and they get profits. And fair enough. You know, that's the way you work. But at least own your agendas. Do you mean
the only thing that drives me crazy about it is there's so many people out there that'll just look at the headline and they see it enough, they're not informed, and they just believe it immediately. And I've gotten in so many arguments on YouTube comment sections where I'll call someone out and be like, okay, well, tell me how we're guilty. Please. Tell me how you've seen all 500,000 pieces of evidence for both for and against us. Tell me when was it adjudicated? I get no response. The few times that I do get responses, it's just a bunch of waffle. And I'm like, well, do you want to dive into the financial statements accusation? I'll go there. No. Like, they have no interest in it because, again, if you want to dive into the details, understand the facts, the nuances, that's beyond the pale. We just like to see the big headline, guilty, and if I see it enough, I believe it. And that's exactly what they've been doing for years, which is why that's the first thing someone says about it.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, the one thing I will say, Goldbridge, who people normally have a go at, he's actually been quite reasonable this season. Don't know why, but he has. Don't normally agree with him. I don't watch a lot of them, but I just feel as though Manchester City has a wide social media audience.
I'll tell you what, Goldbridge has gone different, but I'll let you finish your point, man.
Yeah, I just think we have got this huge audience. And I've said this personally to Sam and to Mo personally. If you would have maybe come across as a bit more objective and did both sides of the argument, you may get people to come on and debate. But when I've got people telling me that United spent no money hardly, and they were the 9th biggest spenders in the Premier League era when they were spending 30 million on Juan Sebastian Veron, 30 million on Wayne Rooney, buying Dwight York out of Villa, Henning Berg out of Blackburn, and I can go on and on and on with that. But all I hear about are the year of 1992. Yeah, all I heard about is the kids they brought up. The kids, by the way, that they stole from Manchester City. They stole from Manchester City. There are so many videos out there about Manchester City's history because what people don't realise is football did not begin in 1992. It is not the Premier League and nothing else. Football was going in the 20s. You know, 1903, 04, we won an FA Cup. Before Arsenal, before United, but you never heard about it. We had legends of the club. But all you hear about is Paul Dickoff because it's ignorance. And they say, well, City weren't a global brand then. Fair enough, we probably weren't because we weren't on the European stage. But let's talk about Man United in 1992 going on the stock exchange. Let's talk about Liverpool and Littlewoods. Let's talk about Liverpool and Standard Charter. You never hear about it. Let's talk about Arsenal and George Graham and brown envelopes and transfer bungs.
Bank of England.
Never heard about it. I'm not asking people to bend over and spread the cheeks of Manchester City. What I'm asking is, do it from an objective place and be honest. Don't allow your hate. And this is why YouTube now, I've had so many people on YouTube tell me privately in the last month that they're taking a break from YouTube because it's become hyperbolic. Whoever can shout the loudest, nonsense. If you do any kind of analytical stuff, you're a tactical. You're emotional. You're rattled. You're this, that, and the other. Manchester City get so much shit in the comments when they go on panel shows, and then they go, "Oh, ignore it." No, why should we? When I've got a lion sat there with his fucking mouth open, I'm not sticking my head in it. What is this? If you want an adult conversation, let's do it. But no one will do that.
You know, Martin, on that,
YouTube has become hyperbolic bullshit now. Whoever screams the loudest with the most outrageous view gets views. It's crash TV.
Yeah.
And that's why on this channel, we won't do it.
I will say this, why I do respect Hussam, and I love the fact that you go on his channel, is years ago when the 115 first came out and Hussam was insufferable, fair play to him, he had Nobbins on. Nobbins, being a former attorney, went through everything for about 35 minutes on a video with him. And Hussam, he basically kind of changed his mind. Like, he wasn't as gung-ho, city or thieves, that all kind of changed a little bit. And he's gotten a little bit softer, but I like what you said. He's not trying to hide it. Yeah, I hate City, just like I hate Manchester United. So that's just my perspective.
I respect that, Madda,
yeah,
because
100%.
You know why I respect that? I respect honesty.
Yes, agreed.
I respect honesty. If I'm going on a show and people go, you know what, I hate City, fine. I opened up a show. I was on a show 2 weeks ago. The opening line was "Fuck Manchester City." Opening line. The opening line to me was "Fuck Manchester City."
Oh,
I haven't opened a word. I hadn't said a dicky bird. It was "Fuck Manchester City." And then they go, "Mark, you're rattled." Yes, because I'm going to be fucking rattled when your opening line is "Fuck Manchester City."
But the thing is that we go back to why have we got this strong opinion about our club? Because if any other fan base was in our position, they'd be doing exactly the same thing. They'd be defending their club, because at the moment we haven't got a verdict. At the moment, all we've heard from City is that we're innocent. So what are we going to do? We're going to back our club at the moment. We're going to turn around and go, if they're telling us they're innocent, then we back them. Until that changes, if they're guilty, then we'll see what happens. And I've made it very clear on many shows that I've said, if we're found guilty and we're found, of the big charges that we're guilty,
we will come down more than most.
We will absolutely come down on the ownership like a ton of bricks sell up and go. But for now, until we have that, and this is why I was going to make a point before to you, Martin, before you spoke, is the likes of Goldbridge. The reason their attitudes have changed is because I think they're starting to see that City have carried on, as Governor said, as business as usual. They're not turning around and suddenly kind of closing the drawbridges and going, we're not going to do big deals, we're not going to sign big players, we're not going to carry. To me, a club like City, if they were guilty, they wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't be signing big multi-million-pound deals with the likes of the Chinese car company and that Resolute Bank and
the infrastructure we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't be doing this. And I think finally, with some people, that penny has dropped. It's that, hang on a minute. If they were guilty, they wouldn't be fully doing this. And that's why I think the likes of someone like Goldbridge and a few others have turned around and gone, actually, we're going to have to kind of start changing our opinion on this, because anyone who was seriously guilty wouldn't be doing what City are doing.
And depending when it comes out, right at the beginning, Pep did say, if the club lied to me, I'll walk. If the club's lying to me, I'll walk. He said that right at the beginning.
He did.
Hang on, 1 minute.
Would we be good? We've signed the likes of Haaland. We've signed the likes of.
That's right. Yeah.
We've signed some big players. Do you think any of these players would have signed if they thought, oh, hang on a minute, you could be found guilty in a year or two's time? Do I really want to stay at the club and be part of this? No. I think the ownership has shown them the evidence, and not to them maybe personally, but to their representatives, and gone, listen, here it is.
Can I just play
You know what I
this?
mean?
This is how crazy this is. Let me just play you this.
How can you undermine everything Pep has done with Man City? Quite easily, because they're cheating scumbags. What Manchester City have done, in my opinion, is disgusting. I've seen the emails. I've got enough information to hand. I don't respect them one bit. I have no respect for them. Zero, none. I hope they get found guilty of every one of the charges. I hope they get screwed to the wall. I hope they get made an example of. And it's not saltiness. I respect good teams. I will respect Arsenal if they win the league this year, but I will not buy the nonsense that's coming out of Abu Dhabi FC. Everyone fucking knows it. That's how I can undermine what Pep Guardiola's achieved, because...
There you go.
And if you asked him point blank what his actual facts are, he wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Yeah. And again, it's emails that were hacked, supposedly, and again there are lots of flaws with those. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to talk about stuff I don't know, but yeah, you have to wait
Manchester
until all the
City's
evidence
115 charges. It feels like it's coming to a head.
Decision found liable for, and then on top of that,
sorry, I've got so much good info here, and I'm trying not to cause World War III, but I want people to be honest. I'd have more respect for this, but you know what? We just don't like City. Or don't invite City fans onto panels then. Just don't invite City fans onto panels. Because one thing I got of someone was, you're emotional. You're fucking damn right I'm emotional.
Martin,
I'm a Manchester City fan. It is emotional to me.
Are you any closer to getting Stefan on?
I'm trying. It's harder because I've come off X, but I am trying to sort it out. I don't care. He can do what he wants. It's freedom of I was using it as an example.
Be great if you could get Stefan Barson on.
At the end of the day, people have got to realise that people have got to stop. Just be honest with it. One thing, like Craig's honest, I hate City. I respect a little bit of Craig because you know what? He says I hate City. Don't think the Abu Dhabi FC is required. I think that's a little bit wrong. I just feel as though people are not being honest. I sit here listening to Arsenal fans, and Gunnar, you're in there. You are all all right. But you go on about, you crying channels asking for respect. You don't give respect back.
The one thing I will say is that you look at what Pep and those players have done throughout the last decade and more. You think about what we've achieved on the field. Now, I'm sorry, but other big clubs, the likes of Chelsea, United, Liverpool, have all pumped in lots and lots of money and bought big players. Have they done what City have done? No. They've spent the money, but they haven't achieved what they've done. So for me, when someone asks, well, even if you're found guilty, how are you going to feel? I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel like bad about what's happened, as in like possibly the club of cricket fraud and all that kind of stuff. But I'll feel worse for the players and the managers, because those players and those managers, especially Pep, have done it on the field. They've not gone out there and cheated, as in like what they've done on the pitch. They've gone out there and played those games and they've won those games. Do you know what I mean? So those things for me are what they've done. They've not done that because they've spent all this money. Other big clubs have done that. They've actually done it. They've gone out there. That money hasn't made a massive difference in the respect of.
They've not failed.
Look at United have done. They've spent more than us. Liverpool have spent more than us over the last season.
And they've failed.
And they've gone out and they've failed. They've not going to do it. They've not won a treble.
Well, I don't have the same. I don't have the same history as you guys do, but I do remember reading. Wasn't at one point in the 1960s when Liverpool were in the second division, they spent more money than whoever was like in the top 2 or 3 in the first division because they knew where they were getting promoted, and then that's what really started their run.
55,000 was spent.
Yeah. Wow.
In today's money, that's.
I get it, and you know what? Some of it is because of our owners and where they're from. I hear Arsenal fans say, "Well, not all Arsenal fans. Some are sensible, but you get the you're Royal FC, you're Abu Dhabi FC, you're this, that, and the other."
Emiratis on their what?
And their main sponsors
I know
are Emirates from United Arab Emirates.
Uh-huh.
And you know what that is? They don't even understand the hypocrisy behind it.
Well, Martin, a lot of the Kroenke's money from the male patriarch, his money, a lot of it comes from oil. The other part's from Walmart with his wife, but his primary source of income or his wealth is oil. And then to your point, Emirates. Oh, you guys are all oil, bad oil city, bad oil city. Where do you guys get most of your money from? The hypocrisy is mind blowing.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Oh, by the way, we'll move on to West Ham in a minute. Just to clarify, I did check this earlier up. In the most chances created this season in the whole of the Premier League, Liverpool are first, 353 chances. United have created 338 chances. Manchester City have created 330 chances. So that's why I don't think it's a chances issue. It's a finishing issue sometimes. Sometimes we can't finish our tea. Do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit crazy. It is what it is. See, Mr. J, the biggest league attendance. Well, you see, league's different. The biggest attendance in the UK, in England, is 84,000. Manchester City versus Stoke in the FA Cup. Remember Nick Harris? Exactly, Nick Harris. The other one, Magic Hats, one who likes to do a lot of shit at the minute. There's what's the other name? Oh, begins with D. Can't remember. Mark Delaney. It is, mate. I'm not going to call out other City channels, mate, on here because it's not about that. We're trying to get a togetherness here. We're trying to get a togetherness here, mate. This isn't about calling City fans. This is calling out. It's not even calling out people. What I'm trying to get across is we just want an objective conversation. Let's not listen to lies of Pep forced company out. No, we didn't.
And the thing is about I don't know what typical City's apparently said, but just to say that everyone has their own opinions. We disagree on this panel. I disagree with Martin most of the bloody time, which it feels like. But it's just our opinions. We can have different opinions. We don't all have to agree. But as Martin said, as a fan base, we should be uniting and criticising, yes, when necessary. We've definitely done that tonight with Pep and some of the players. Do you know what I mean? When it's necessary, you do that. You do constructive criticism. But as a fan base, we should become behind the club. So,
yeah. Anyway, right.
I've got to jump. Sorry, Martin.
Yeah, no worries. Go now. I'll probably speak to you next week for Blues Down Under.
Yeah, no problem.
Ed,
take it easy.
I know you've been quiet here.
Sorry,
mate. City win.
Good man. Ed, are you at the gym? Is Ed feeding the dog, walking the dog, having food? I don't know.
He's probably gone to sleep. We've not heard him talk in probably an hour.
I don't know where the monkey's gone. Right, West Ham United. Big game on Saturday evening, 8 p.m. West Ham currently fighting in relegation. City coming off the back of a disastrous performance in Madrid. And results, which actually does tie in a little bit with the Champions League situation, because we've got West Ham Saturday, Madrid Tuesday, and then we've got a little cup final the following Sunday. Is this where you're going to want all rotation, or are you going to be like, fuck it, play the same 11 for the next 3 games, see where we land? Because now I'm going to be intrigued on where everyone goes with this rotation policy. Because you've got 3 big games coming up in the next 7 days, guys. Anyone? Jump in. Everyone shit themselves. I'm not putting my head above the parapet. No chance.
I think the thing is, though, Mike, is the next few weeks, there are big games, a bit against some big clubs. So and that's if we, beat Real Madrid on Tuesday. The fixture doesn't get any easier or better. Do you know what I mean? So really and truly, there is going to have to be rotation. You're going to have to, play other players, But for me, it's about how you play them, as we've talked about. Matt, what was the number again that you like? 316.
Oh, I was just about to say, as long as it's not a 316, that's a first step in the right direction for me.
Yeah, and I think that's where we need to start. Is maybe no more 316s, more just let's go back to basics and keep it to what we know.
You love a 316 in a minute. It's like hashtag 316 is paid from somewhere. What's going on here?
Forget 115. It's 316 now.
Connor's dropped Diaz for Saturday. What's Diaz? I thought Diaz was our best defender last night.
Yeah. I think Mark Gay didn't particularly cover himself in glory. I think he had a few sticky moments, to say the least.
I don't know. I think Ruben Diaz has just become that next target, and he's just become that next boom guy. That's
for some people, possibly, yeah. But I think his presence at the back.
Who was yours, Adam? And don't say Kushinov, because Kushinov was not good last night, mate. Diaz almost gave away a goal in his own box. He also stopped us. Come on.
I don't think Kushinov was
Vinny Jr. put Kushinov on his ass. Vinny Jr. just roasted Kushinov last night. I'm going to be honest, he did. Doesn't mean Kushinov shit. He had a bad night. That's all. I thought Vinny Jr. wiped the floor with him last night. But what does that matter? See what I mean? Kushinov was not. See, I don't know what it is. Kushinov's got protection FC all over him.
Well,
I don't know
think
why.
that's what it was. The second time he's played. No, third time he's played right back. Correct. First time was Real Madrid last year. Third time was last night, and he played. I think he played right back one other time. So he's only played 3 times, right? I think that's correct.
Yeah, I don't think he's played many times at right back over the season. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter where people play, but people were asking Kushinov to play right back all week. Mate, I've done enough for these shows and went on enough shows to hear what people were saying about Kushinov to right back. Come on. I don't know. I don't know where Ruben Diaz is just. I don't know where people have got this hate on Ruben Diaz from. It does astound me a little bit.
I think the thing with Diaz stems from Walker covered him so well, because we all know that Diaz is not great on the pace. He's not. Walker took care of that for years. And then last season, it really got exposed because we didn't have anyone there, and Walker was slow before he left. Now, Nunez is a lot faster, and I think he definitely complements him. But I think some people may have been calling out for Kuzanov to be in that right back position because Vinny is so fast that he could spin Nunez, and Nunez isn't as fast as Kuzanov. I'm grasping at straws here, but that's the only thing I can see why people want him at right back. But I could be wrong. That's just my perspective.
Do you know what I think it is, Matt Hatter? Do you know what I think it is? It's that gap. I think it was Newcastle, wasn't it, where Pep had made the decision to take Diaz off because of one, I think he was on a yellow, if I remember rightly, and two, I think Andy Gorton was really kind of
that's right. Pace. Yep, he got the yellow for the hand across his chest,
and then Pep made the decision to take him off and put Kuzma. I think a lot of people in some people's minds it was, well, Diaz has got to be crap because Kuzma has had to come on and replace him, and he did a better job. But he did a better job because he had that pace and he had that. And he was on. Diaz was on a yellow card. It was. I think he was close to getting a second realistically. So I think that's why Pep made that change. It was a tactical change at that moment in that game at that time. Doesn't mean that necessarily that Kunos deserves to stay a centre back over Diaz.
No, I think it comes.
Jealous about Diaz is shagging.
I think it comes. I think it comes down to.
I think the jealous of me be shagging sometimes.
I think it kind of comes down to what Martin says also. Different locks and different keys. If you have a really pacey front line, and Pep wants to play a high back line, like a super high back line, maybe you don't have Diaz in there because that's a liability with the pace. again, different keys, different locks. You have a slower or not as wicked pacey wingers, then you don't have Kushner if you put Diaz in. I don't know. Like, that's where that fluidity comes in, depending on who you're playing against, right?
But you tell me, out of all the big teams in the Premier League, tell me who out of all those centre back players has really always handled Vinny Jr. better than the likes of Diaz. Do you know what I mean? Like, there aren't many central defenders in the world that really can handle Vinny, not only with his pace but his quality as well. We've played Real Madrid so many times. I think it's about time Arsenal experienced that, or Chelsea experienced that, or Liverpool. I know a little bit they've had it more often than those
Well,
teams.
last year was the real, but Ozzy, wasn't last year like the real first year that we got to see Diaz play against Vinny Jr. because Walker was gone. The previous season, I think Walker played one of those games or two of what. I know he's injured in one of them, but there were, you know what I mean? Like he always had some kind of a cover with Walker's pace. Last year, we didn't have any of that. And that's where I think maybe some people are putting those things together. Again, I don't think it's a big deal because nobody's perfect. It's all about trade-offs.
Exactly.
So,
and this is what I was saying. Player FC's come into it too much. There's too much player FC going on now.
Yeah, but you look at if you swap this over and look at what Doku was doing for them. They were having to put 3 players on Doku because Trent couldn't handle him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've got exactly the same problem that we had. It's just that Doku isn't prolific as Vinny Jr. when it comes to scoring goals. But he's definitely prolific at getting those chances like he did last night in the first leg. So for me, it's how do you solve that problem? If you haven't got the pace, you do something different. And that is something I think is going to have to happen over the next leg.
Well, like you just said, like with Rodri, right? Like Rodri's not the fastest guy in the world, but if you got someone like Nico O'Reilly around him, and you're not playing a 3-1-6 and he's not isolated, guess what? The midfield isn't as fragile. Like you said, like it's different keys, different locks.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to see a 3-1-6.
Yeah.
I'll take anything else.
No, I don't want to see that again. And listen, I think, coming on to the West Ham game, it's become a big game now because I do feel it's a game where we can't really drop points. And as kind of I was saying, Tone was saying, I think Martin, you said it as well earlier on, that West Ham are a team that are fighting relegation right now. And these are the most dangerous teams at the moment. Is you're facing these teams that have got a lot to play for, and they're going to be putting in a lot of effort because they don't want to be relegated, and you can't blame them. We've been in their position in our history of being newly relegated or have been relegated. You are absolutely going to bring your A game. You may not have the players like we do, but you're certainly going to put in that massive effort to cause an upset. Even if it's a draw, it's still a point for them.
And Ozzy, I love that point, and I agree 1,000%. And here's a question I want to pose to you guys in the chat because I'm curious. When we played Nottingham Forest, I felt, again, my eyes, that our tempo and level of urgency was more or less the same in the 10th and 20th minute as it was the 80th minute. But I noticed that come the second half of that game, once Forest scored once and then they were fighting for their lives, to your point exactly, because they are, a point above the relegation zone? And I just felt like they're fighting for their lives, but we should be fighting as hard because we have the title in our hands. And I felt like that there was a little lack of urgency. And then I saw it again, Real Madrid last night, 3 down. Get something, anything. And yeah, Doku was one of the few people, but everyone else just seemed, I don't know, shot. There's something missing that we didn't see like we saw in that Liverpool game. That Liverpool game, everybody was after it. I didn't see that in the Forest game. I didn't see it last night. I don't know what's going to happen against West Ham. I am worried because they are fighting relegation.
Yeah. What City and what the players and what Pep have got to do is going on that game of the weekend and show the mentality, show that we're not going to just suddenly, if we concede a goal, our heads are going to go down and go, okay, well, that's the league done. No, it's not, because yes, it's tight, and yes, Arsenal are currently have got those points ahead. But for me, if we can win against West Ham, it comes down to the Etihad game against Arsenal. That could be the game that decides the title if we let it to be. Do you know what I mean? Right now, it is our hands to do that. But we've these players and this manager especially have got to show the mentality that he's got to get players ready to go, right, the spirits like Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Haaland and Donnarumma. I know Donnarumma's new, but he's got a lot of experience. They've got to come out and they've got to be leaders on that pitch. They've got to go, okay, we conceded, then we go on. Do you know what I mean? We get that equaliser, and then we go on and get another goal after that. That's what we've got to do at the weekend.
Well, and that's been something that has kind of been a frustration for me. Again, I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but I've noticed in a lot of games when we would score, we kind of take our foot off the gas pedal sometimes. And I'm not saying, hey, everyone's got to go a million miles an hour, but the more goals you get in, the more difficult it is for you to drop points. Because we've seen some of those ones, like the Fulham game. I think we all have a little PTSD from that 5-1, and then in the 60th minute, I think they're able to roar back an extra 3 goal. Like, that was terrifying. But I just want to see that tenacity like we saw in that Liverpool game. Dude, we were down and out, and they just wouldn't stop. That's what I want to see, because we're in that back half of the season. Knockout games, everything. That's what I want to see. And I saw it in that Newcastle game this weekend with most of the second-team guys. They had that fight, that dog fight in them.
Yeah. And we have to remember that, a lot of these players that are on that pitch haven't gone on and won multiple titles. They know what it's like to go to win a title race. Do you know what I mean? The likes of, so many, like Bernardo Silva and Rodri and Haaland and Diaz are the only players really that know what it's like to go on and win multiple titles, to challenge. Do you know what I mean? The rest of the team is new. They haven't experienced this before. They need those players to rally around them and go, this is what you need to do. This is what we've done since we've been here. This is the mentality we need to have. And they may, listen, we have to expect that we may not win the league, but it could. I'd rather us really try and not let this, our heads drop after conceding the goal. I want us to at least go, we're going to try everything we can. We're going to leave everything out on that pitch to win the game. And if we don't win the title, fair enough, but at least we've tried. At least we've gone for it.
Honestly, that's all I expect. That's all I expect.
I don't expect us to win the league. I hope we're going to win the league, because I think we can win the league. But if we don't, and Arsenal are the better side and they win it, then fair enough. Hats off to them. They've gone on and done it. You have to respect that. I won't like it, but I respect it.
No, that's right.
What's your lineups? Because some are saying drop Rodri, some are saying drop Diaz, some are saying drop Haaland. Because here's my thing: if we're going to go in this, because someone said earlier on, it's their opinion, drop Haaland for the rest of the season.
Oh, I'll definitely talk on this. Okay, so I'm part of the Haaland Defense League, right? And he's had some problems since January 1st. I'll be the first to admit it's, spurning some huge chances. All right, I get it. But then I also look at it and I say, our style of play has really changed from the fall to where we are now. If you look at the pace, the directness, it's slowed down. If you look at the counterattacks, we don't do them very often, if at all. We did it a lot more in the fall. We had Foden, Cherki, Doku, Haaland, all scoring, all doing very, very well. How are they doing now? Not as well as they were. What's changed? Pep changed the system.
I'm not saying anything to this part because I've been saying it for 3 months. And
but Martin, like I said, I'll die on this hill. My thing is, look, if we'll do whatever the manager wants, right? But if he's not going to play to the strengths of Erling Haaland like we were doing in the fall, like a lot of people said Pep's not capable of that. No, he is, because he showed us that from August through December. he had a lot of counterattacks involved, a lot of very quick, very dynamic transitions. And it worked very, very well. And now with Rodri back, and this is not on Rodri in any way, shape, or form, Pep seems to have gone back and reverted to his mean, which is more of this very heavy emphasis on possession and control. And that's fine. That's done us really, really well. But I don't know that we have the players anymore at that technical ability to be able to pass through and get around the obstacles of a lot of these other teams that we seem to struggle with now. So, it's a trade-off. If we're not going to play to Haaland's strengths, cool, then we need to play to the strengths of what players we have that we can really capitalize on. And if that means Haaland's a passenger because, he doesn't really do that much in this current iteration that we're playing, then maybe he should ride the bench a little bit. And just, I don't know. And I'm a huge Haaland fan too. I don't want to see him benched, but I don't want to see it wasted with 9 guys on the field, even though it looks like we have 10.
Listen, I mean, I agree with what you've just said. Apart from the thing I'd say, it's Haaland. Do you know what I mean? He is a goal scorer. And not only is he a goal scorer, but something that he's improved on this season is his defensive work. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
He's been absolutely immense at the back when we've needed him. So he's not been maybe scoring the goals we need, but he has been immense when it comes to some of the defensive stuff. And he's even made some assists. I think he's got 7, 8 assists or something at the moment.
He's ranked. He's tied number 2 or number 3 for most assists in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not. He may not be scoring the goals right now, but he's doing something. And for me, he's a player that can do something out of nothing. If we do play to his strengths, then I think he will eventually score more goals. He's just going through a bad patch. And for me, what I would do is I'd still play him. I'd still have him.
Sorry about that. My meds kicked in. My meds kicked in, and my meds are making me.
Not you good, Warren? You good?
I don't. He'll be all right in a minute. As soon as his head sorts out.
Yeah, sorry. Come on.
What I will say is, for me, you start Haaland. But what I will say to your point, Harry, is that if the game is going and we need a goal and Haaland's just not quite doing it, bring in Mamouche a lot earlier, not the 80th minute. I'd be bringing him on in the 60th minute if need be. If you need to take Haaland off and make that change because you just feel that Haaland's not able to get into the game and make a difference, then that's when Pep needs to make that change for the more positive. Because, Mamouche, we know, lately he has been getting a few of the goals. So it's about how you play and when you play, for me.
Yeah, but
you're not allowed to, Jay. Careful.
But Ozzy, just to push back a little bit. You said it's how you play and when you play. Well, if we're playing with Marmouche, we're more fluid because we can afford to be a little slower with the build-up, but we have a much more fluid dynamic because we have an additional, very well-suited dribbler on our hands, whereas Haaland just isn't really that guy, and that's fair, right? Like, I don't expect him to. It's like saying I'm getting upset with a fish because it can't climb a tree. That's ridiculous, right? I don't expect Haaland to be a Zlatan dribbler. But if he's making runs and we are ignoring those runs, which we've been doing quite a lot, over and over and over, what's the point of him being there? Like,
then that comes to those players that are not playing him to strength.
Then it comes. Then wouldn't it come to the manager? Because remember when he first came, Foden wasn't passing to him, and Pep went ballistic. Remember a couple times right when Haaland got here in 23. Foden should have squared the ball off to him, and he didn't. And Pep went ballistic a couple times.
Yeah.
And then but that was a long time ago. And then things changed. And then this fall, there was, forward balls, breaking lines, over the top, left, right, center, Foden, sure, it was magic. And then it all changed, went back to slow. And now Haaland was averaging 0.9 to 1 goal every single game across all comps since January 1st. He's at, I think, 0.23, 0.24. That's a 75% drop in goal scoring for him. That right there is a red light. Is it all him? It's definitely some of him, but it's not all him.
No, it's
so
not.
That's what's doing my head in. And that's why I don't know, what to think, because I'm a big fan, seen what he's done. But if you don't play to him, I can't get all that upset. But when he does get a potential chance and he spurns it, I'll give him hell for it because I try to be objective.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. The thing with Haaland is people need to make a decision on what they want. Do they want him to be a goal scorer, or do they want him to be a deep lining sort of 10 position, hold the ball up, turn, run, make run? For me, I think
he has shown he can do both, Martin.
Yeah, I think he can, but I think he's still in. You don't score 150 goals because you don't know what you do.
Exactly.
No,
you just don't. I'm sorry. Did this thing of just bench him, see you later, he's not worth it, sell him, whatever. That's fine. It's your opinion. But don't be asked, these are the same people, let's be honest. And I know you were joked about it, but Ozzy, but we have seen it. Mamouche has played, and there's been times when we've even said in the group chat, is he playing?
Yeah, well, no, exactly. That,
There's 35 minutes. I'm like, where's Mamouche?
I'm sorry, but there was that chance he had again when Alisson went into him, and he just completely shirked away from it. So for me, for over the last few months, he hasn't shown enough to start over Haaland. I'm always going to back Haaland because Mamouche he's done it over a couple of games over the last couple of weeks, maybe. But for me, that's not enough consistency. So if he has more consistency and buries those chances, then maybe there's an argument to start him above
That's
Haaland.
a great question. Does he want to play? Is he better scoring through the middle or from the wings? Now, again, when he played for Dortmund, he scored from the wings a lot. There was Sancho. Everyone was putting balls in for him, and he was scoring. I was watching him at Dortmund when we were getting links. I wanted to do a lot of things. He did. What people don't realize is maybe he's just going through a bit of a bad patch right now.
But Martin, what was the composition of a lot of those chances? They were in transition. A lot, not all of them, but a lot.
Not with Dortmund. Some of them were just natural wing play, mate. They were just natural wing play. We don't play that.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest change this season is he's not got a KDB feeding him balls this year.
But he did so well in the fall. That's what does my head in.
Because what happened was Cherky was on the right wing.
Yeah.
He's now changed that. Because Foden was the 10. Cherky was coming in off the right.
There's magic there.
That. He brought Cherky into the 10, took Foden further back. We had that's what he's changed. He's put the wingers out on the wing. He's now stopped the Cherky's now a 10. Not a right winger anymore, if you know what I mean.
Well, I also think
and that's not me having to go at Cherky, by the way, before people get bailed. For some weird reason at the minute, I can't say anything without I hate that player. Jesus.
But I also think since January, because you make that point, Manhattan, about like since January he seems to have fallen off. Who signed for City in January?
Semenyo did, but you have to remember. But Semenyo didn't even start playing until the end of January.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is that the problem is that we haven't seen enough of a link up between Semenyo and Haaland. We haven't seen that chemistry yet fully come out. It hasn't worked quite yet for me. I haven't seen that him really giving Haaland the chances.
That's because
I'm not blaming him. Let me finish this point, Ed. I'm not blaming Semenyo. He's doing the job he's been told to do. But the problem is that for me is that you look at the game against Real Madrid, there were two central strikers. For me, that didn't work. You've got to have the wingers. You've got to have Doku on one side and Semenyo on the other, feeding Haaland. And I think that just hasn't happened because Semenyo's come in and he's been told, Haaland's not scoring. You need to score the goals. So for me, it's actually you need to try and assist Haaland a lot more because we need to play to Haaland's strengths.
That's my whole point. And what is one of his main strengths?
Turning on Semenyo all of a sudden. Why is Semenyo shit?
I'm not.
No, I don't mean you. There's people in the chat saying he can't trap. He's seen people with no legs trap a ball better than what's Semenyo done now?
No, but this is what I was going to say about Semenyo. Usually with a second striker, he's really good technically to link up with the main striker. I think Semenyo attributes are more his pace, his power. I don't think he's really a creator.
He's a shooter. Like Ed, what did he do at Bournemouth? What was he so good at Bournemouth?
He scored more goals than Savinho and Doku in the last 2 seasons combined.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So as a second striker, he's not going to. He's more focused on shooting than creating.
Yes.
That's not what he does. And
Exactly.
we saw him in a previous game in the Prem. And I think it was Semenyo, Marmoush.
I think the way the Premier League has changed it. I think because the Premier League's become so physical, I think that because Semenyo's biggest two assets are scoring goals and his physicality. There is we're bringing it out. You look at the players we've been linked with, they're not techie ballers, as they call it anymore. They're powerful engines, units, runners.
Yeah, I agree, Martin. But then the question becomes, does it make sense that, because remember, when Semenyo came in, he's also played up until recently, he's done a good amount of touchline winger work when he first came in. He's not a touchline winger. He never was.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I know, but like...
No, I meant because he said play Semenyo in the Premier League in the UCL. Can't do that because Semenyo's joined City to play in the UCL.
I don't know if anyone's seen the Gary Lineker podcast over the last day. I think it came out yesterday, the day before. But I mean, they were talking about it. Actually, no, sorry, it came out yesterday because they were talking about the Real Madrid match. So, and they were saying like Haaland and Semenyo are now these two strikers, and Haaland has never played with a second striker really. Do you know what I mean? So it's trying, that balance doesn't really work. Do you know what I mean? It's just not working. You can't have Semenyo and Haaland. Both of them are definitely goal scorers, but we've not. If we want Haaland to be the goal scorer and we want him to play to his strengths, then Semenyo has to change his game, because Haaland is always going to be the main man. It's like Mamouche. Mamouche is the same. But we tried playing them both together. It didn't work. And then we talked about playing him on the wing. That didn't really kind of work. So if it's going to be all about Haaland, which, let's be honest, it is, then you've got to have the wingers doing that job of getting more assists. Now, don't get me wrong, if you score a goal, they score a goal. Brilliant.
We're not saying that's it. It's like what we're saying is, like Ozzy's saying, if you're buying Semenyo, you're not buying him just for the Premier League. He might as well have just gone stayed at Bournemouth, mate. A player is signed to develop his career. Every player wants to play in the top competitions. You can't buy a player and say you're only for the Premier League.
Well, also, Semenyo's
it doesn't
right
work like that. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And that's not Player FC. That's football, mate. What are we doing here?
And Martin, Semenyo's a right winger.
So what was he at fucking Bournemouth then?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
And I'd also posit Savinho really kind of fell off, which is I would assume is one of the main drivers when he lost his position, that we picked up Semenyo anyway, because I think Savio has one Premier League goal in 2,700 minutes across 2 seasons now. Like
Doku and Savinho are both shit at goal scoring.
Yeah, they 100%.
Let's get it straight and let's get it out there. Doku has one Premier League goal all season. Savinho has what? One goal.
One goal.
That's it. Both of them are not good at goal scoring.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why he brought Semenyo in. So I don't understand where this confusion is.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. Mate, I've got him in front of me in the Premier League. 21 starts, 1 goal, 6 assists in 1,201 minutes. So Venom, don't check me on my stats, mate, when I've got him in front of me and I can share my screen and show it you, mate.
Martin, let me ask you this: Where are we at with Doku's contract?
He's gonna get a new one, which he deserves. I'm not asked about my wingers scoring. I'm not asked about that. I think that's become people are getting high on this wingers scoring goals. I'm old fashioned with it.
They go back to Sterling and
but we don't play that way anymore.
Do you know what I mean? No, we don't. But that's the thing is that we love to see it because when we had Sterling and Mahrez and a few of those that scored those big goals, we loved it. It's something that we had that was in our arsenal. It's great to have. And then don't get me wrong, if Doku, Savinho, and Savio can score more of these goals, brilliant. But we've got the big man, and the big man needs what we brought him for is to score the goals. So you have to feed him. You've just got to feed him more.
But Ozzy, another thing is, Semenyo works good in transition. Haaland works good in transition. Doku going into the center a little bit, inverting in transition. They're all phenomenal when they're going fast. Is Semenyo as good if we're going slow and he has to try to beat a man? He doesn't look that great. But when he's got speed, he's blowing past people. So this is where I go back to January saying we've slowed a lot of our play down. Is that not working with some of our players? And this is why we're having some of these attacking output issues.
For me, I think it's a football thing. Because like you just said, Venom, I get what you're saying. Sterling scored, Mahrez scored. That was 6-7 years ago. You're trying to get back to something that's changed. The Premier League has changed. This is why there's a lot of debates now of the Premier League's a bit more boring. Because I'm sorry, it has become less technical and more physical now. It has. Caldoun has talked about it. Viana has talked about it. Pep has talked about it. Venom, but Liverpool fans want to sell Salah. They hate him this season, mate. Why do you think he got benched? Unfortunately, what's happened is some people became Premier League fans because it was exciting and it was techie ballers and that's changed now. I'm sorry, but it has. It's now about physicality and root and bashing people. That's just the way it is. Look at Arsenal with throw-ins and corners. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not personally asked about it. I'm not asked about it, if you want me to be honest with you. Arsenal can play how they want to play. But can anyone tell me wingers this season who's scoring goals? Can anyone name me a top winger this season who is scoring goals?
We've got one.
Anywhere in the Premier League. Because I'll have a look at the top goal scorers now in the whole Premier League, right?
Is it in Burmo? I think for United, I think he's scored.
Well, there's Haaland. Do you want to know who the top winger is? Semenyo.
Yeah.
I know Semenyo, but I mean, like, you talk about other teams, I think.
Semenyo. João Pedro, 14. Ekiteka, he's a striker, 11. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, striker. Welbeck, striker. Gyökeres, striker. You've got to get all the way down to Harry Wilson with 9, which is 9th place.
And Bomo, though? Is he there?
Yeah, because he's got to be.
He is. He's got 9 goals. He's joint 9th with Cole Palmer and Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers has only got 8. Gibbs White has got 8. There is no wingers scoring double figures at the minute. There's only Semenyo.
As you said, Mike, I don't mind the whole, the league changes and things change, and Arsenal are scoring goals more with set plays, blah, blah. I don't mind that so much. You win the league however you win the league at the end of the day. I mean, people were criticising us when we played slow, boring and passive football. It won us the league. But I think the thing that I really don't like about this season is all the basically just the crowding around and the goalkeepers and making fouls. It's rugby or wrestling. And that's one thing that I like about the Champions League is that you don't get that in the Champions League. I don't like that in the Premier League this season. I think it's really annoying. It just causes way too many problems because, you're not able to score corners properly because there's just so much WWE or whatever. So that's the thing I don't like about it this season so much.
Right, but Venom, that's fine, but that's right. So you think the league is garbage? Harvey Barnes is nowhere near it, mate. Saka, nowhere near it.
Yeah, Saka.
I don't know what people are trying to do this year. Saka, we'll have a look at his goals this season.
He's got 7.
He's dropped
by the way, he's getting 300 grand a week. 26 appearances, 6 goals. 300 grand a week. He scored 6 goals.
Yeah.
People have got to realise it that the Premier League has changed for good or for better. That's your opinion. But I can share my screen now and I can show you. And I'm going to show you something else, which is going to shock everyone right now. Because guess who the second? Look at this. Bruno Fernandes, right? Sorry, goals. Erling Haaland, 22. Thiago, 18. Semenyo, 15. João Pedro, Ekiteke, Calvert-Lewin, Welbeck, Gyökeres, Wilson, Bruno Guimaraes, midfielder, and Bremo, midfielder. Cole Palmer, 9. Morgan Rogers, Bowen, Gibbs White, who everyone said shit, scored the same amount as Ollie Watkins, Mateta, and all them. Phil Foden's down on 7. By the way, scored the same as Walter Marder, etc. Then we go to top assisters. Oh, look who's number 3rd. Weird that, isn't it? Erling Haaland has more assists than bloody Mo Salah. What we doing? If Erling Haaland is so shit, how has he got more assists than Mo Salah? And Harry Wilson and Jack Grealish. This is a striker, by the way. João Pedro more, Bowen more, Trossard more, Rice more, Kudos more, Odegaard more, Diouf more, Wharton more. He has more assists than Semenyo, more assists than Guimaraes, more assists than Pedro Neto, more assists than Doku, more assists than Xabi Simons, more assists than Minte, more assists than Nunes, more assists than Bernardo Silva.
Martin, is that a red flag? Is that a red flag?
No, maybe, but my point I'm making is that's more my Haaland defense league, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why I was saying people are being too harsh on the guy when you're saying Haaland or bust right now. That's where we are right now. We're Haaland or bust outside of Semenyo.
I'm sorry, the Premier League has changed. If you want the fancy stuff, go to La Liga, go to the Bundesliga, fine. But you don't support them teams. You support Manchester City. In 2026, the Premier League has changed. I'm sorry. There is nothing. It is about physicality and everything else now. I'm sorry, but it is. Will the other stuff come back? Maybe. I think that's why Cherky and Foden are sat on the bench a lot. Because guess what those two are not good at? Physicality. Ding, ding, ding. Ring the bell.
And on that note, I am going to have to go. But thank you to everyone for joining tonight. Good to see you guys.
Big up,
I hope to see you all soon.
Yeah, I'm not beating around the bush. So everyone keeps asking me why is Foden and Cherky on the bench? Because they're shit physicality-wise. Because it's not about physicality anymore. It's not about fanciness anymore. It's about being dogged, determined, and just get through the games now. And I understand people. I don't know. I'm going to say it as it is right now. I think there is a downer on English football right now. Yeah. I think there is a downer on English football. I don't know what you two think. I just feel as though there's a little bit of a Debbie Downer on English football, which is why
the weekend
maybe we got exposed this week.
Yeah, midweek didn't help though with that, where all the Premier League teams.
Then Venom, don't watch it. No one's stopping you. But he hasn't been shit. That's where we disagree, mate. And that's fine. We can disagree. I just think this is why everyone's gone downer on Pep and all the certain players because they want the techie ballers. It ain't techie baller time, guys. Tough titty, said the kidder.
I don't care about techie ballers or what. I just want to win games and play well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, Mad Hatter, to my point, look at the players we've been linked with in the summer.
Yeah.
How many of them are techie ballers?
Not that many, but they run their ass off.
Who we getting linked to?
Thank you. They run their ass off and the physical.
Yeah.
Who we getting linked to? I didn't see anything.
Anderson, Tanala, Morgan Gibbs White. Come on. You don't need to be a fucking genius to figure out what they're doing. Right, then, but Jay, I'm sorry, that's fine. That's your opinion. But I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. This is what's causing part of the split right now. We've got to calm down on that. Are you a Manchester City fan because you want good football or because you love the football club?
The
Which
latter.
one?
Latter
There
for
you
me.
go. So does it matter how we play as long as we win then?
Nope. If we're going dirty and hard, I want us to get the dirtiest, hardest motherfuckers we can get on that pitch. If we're going to be all technical, let's get the most technical people possible.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's go.
Do you think Arsenal give a shit if they win the league?
Yeah.
Right, well, Venom, that's great. Then go, mate. I don't know what you want. Go and support a team somewhere else then if you're going to be like that. We don't want you to. You're a City fan. Just accept it, love it, and carry on with it. This is the part I don't get and why I'm kicking back, because you're meant to support the club, good, bad, and indifferent. I didn't support the club because we played sexy football. Fucking hell. But I never said my opinion was gold, Jay. You keep doing this. I'm not saying it is. But are you a City fan because you're a City fan, or are you a City fan because of the football? Which one are you?
Sexy football.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it baffles me, this.
The Premier League has turned into long ball FC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's come a battle in the midfield. There's not a lot of room and space. That's what we're dealing with right now.
But right, City Slacker, I'm coming back to people like Venom saying like, "Oh, I'll just support from a distance." What does it matter? Are you not? We can talk tactics, but what people are accepting, Slacker, are the tactics, because you're wanting something that is not there in English football right now.
guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't football kind of go in cycles over long periods of time? So isn't this part of a natural cycle? You can't fight it. It is what it is. So rally behind your club.
Saying that fresh. You're saying English football shit and it's boring to watch. That's the bit I don't understand, fresh. When I go to the stadium, mate, I don't sit there and go, I don't walk out after 20 minutes if the football's boring. This is the part you struggle to understand, Jay. If I'm going to be honest with you struggle to understand, you know. Jay, don't do that, mate, because I'm not shutting your opinion down. You've got 2 ears, use them. Oh, come on and let's have a debate. You don't like match-going fans, Jay, for some weird reason. I don't know why. Because we've had this debate loads of times and you keep having little digs about match-going fans. Let me support how I want to support. You support how I want to support.
Yeah, this ain't North Korea.
Okay. Yeah, we're not in North Korea here, guys. I am allowed to disagree. When I disagree, I'm told that I'm policing opinions. So you're not allowing my opinion. You're policing my opinion now. You're policing my opinion, Jay.
Martin feels how he feels about it. Jay feels how he feels about it.
Yeah, let's agree to disagree. But you're putting shit in the chat saying, turning around and saying that, you know, well done, Pep, spent 50 quid for next week. I can't get my head around this. So what you're telling me is, what, you're not going to go next week?
Shit, I'd kill for that kind of ticket.
But I am understanding your opinion. You don't like, you said English football shit, and that's fine.
Martin's just saying, even though you have that opinion, still back the team.
What I'm saying is back the team, yeah. What is wrong with me saying back the team?
Like when you have like what he's saying is when you have people saying that you support from a distance, why are you doing that? Just because the football isn't sexy? You should be proud of your team. No matter what the
I
tactics
wasn't
are.
calling you that. I put it in general in the chat, mate. That's my opinion. I do think it is player FC too much. Wasn't saying it at you. I didn't put your name on it or anything. I don't understand this. Well, why not, Martin? Some people can't afford it, man. I don't get his pocket watching of other people who probably paid. But because you don't, I go to the game to support the club. Do you think, right, because this is what turned into last night. 2,000, 3,000 City fans went to that stadium last night and they were clapping at the end and they got shits abuse from people online saying they were happy clapping.
But Martin, wait a minute. Didn't Atalanta's whole stadium clap them off the pitch when they got beat 6-1?
But Ed, that makes sense. So
I'm going to be honest, and this is not a dig at anyone. I look at it. You got to realize I go to the games week in, week out. I am going to support the way I want to support. If you don't like it, then it's fine. That's your opinion. And I know some people don't like the way some fans support in the ground. I get that. But that's who we are. That's who we are. I think people don't understand it. I think they think if you clap when you lose, that's a poor mentality. I'm going to be honest with you, but in my opinion, I think the way some other people support teams around the world is poor, because I don't think you should only go when you're winning. And that's what I'm saying, Jay. There's your point. You guys make it seem like you're better than everyone else. When have we ever said that?
yeah, but how has that come across that way?
Right, Mad Hatter, Ed, have I ever said we're better than everyone else?
No.
At any point?
No.
We're pushing back on narratives that are saying that this is North Korea and we're not allowed to have opinions that you disagree with. No.
Don't have a go at me because of FPL Main Road's tweet. That's not fair on me. I said he was wrong. I said FPL Main Road was wrong. Did I not earlier, Venom?
I heard you
Jay
say that, Martin.
Fresh has known me for a long time and knows I don't do this local fan abroad shit. I've never done this. Madata, where are you from?
I'm from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia,
Right.
USA.
Ed, where are you from?
Tampa, Florida.
Right. Sorry, I didn't realise any of them were close to Manchester. Come on. I think we just got to calm down. Exactly. I'm not FPL Main Road. That's his opinion. You can't. This, I mean, I think people have got a downer on the local fans or the match-going fans at the minute. City should refund me. No. Why? Why should they refund you? But why should they refund you? So what you're telling me is you only want to go if we're guaranteed a win. I don't agree with that. Listen, I've told you this 1,000 times, and it should, in my opinion, if City were playing Darlington FC next week, I'd be there. For some reason, that makes me a loser or a poor mentality. I'm sorry. I don't mean it's an awful way. This is where the splits come in. Right, but they refunded it afterwards. People are asking for refunds before the game's even kicked off.
Yeah, but that's a false equivalency. You're trying to compare Bodo Glimt to Real Madrid? Seriously? That's wild.
Listen,
Am I wrong?
Jay,
That's
I want
wild.
you to come on. Venom, you can come on and you can explain it, because I'm going to be honest, some of your views come across as anti-locals, which is why we get called Main Road FC. Main Road FC. When it shouldn't be anything like that. We shouldn't be slagging people abroad. We shouldn't be slagging people for that. I'm going to be honest, that's your opinion, and that's fine. Maybe that's what they do in the States, mate. We don't do that here.
No, they don't do that in the States at all. Right, Ed? I've never been to a game where I got
why are people
killed.
asking for stuff that people asking for refunds before the game's kicked off? No, Martin Marsh, you didn't pay for that. You paid to support the team. No, you paid to support the team. I'm not being funny, Martin Marsh. If you went to a theme park and 2 of the rides were shut, you wouldn't get a refund. What are we doing here?
This is wild.
What kind of... Sorry, this is now becoming a bit woke. Give me my money back. What is this? Oh, because Jay Fresh said earlier that people are basically... I can put it up. Let me find it. They are. Now, I don't care how you support. You make out Manx better than overseas fans. I've never done that. I've never, ever done that. And for you to say that to me, Jay, is a bit of an insult, mate.
Martin, I think he's saying that.
That's insulting. No, because that's questioning my character.
No, I know what you're saying, but Martin, I think he's just saying maybe where he's like,
I've never done that, Ed.
No, you never done that.
We were the first channel to bring fans from abroad on. That's what bugs me. We had fans from abroad on before anybody else. I was doing Twitter spaces till 5 a.m. in the morning for fans abroad. And I'm saying I'm better. Come on. Is that not a personal insult? You know, paid for Wembley next week. They better not lose. But, mate, you don't. I think this is where me and you will disagree. I don't go to guarantee wins. I go to support the team, win, lose, or draw. If you think that's a shit mentality, that's fine. I'm City till we die, which is why we've got the chant, City till we die. We're City till we die. We know we are, we're sure we are, we're City till we die. City on the piss, win, lose, or draw.
Oh,
that's the way we are.
Second that.
Martin just don't get it. Right, you're being ignorant. Jay, I've told you, I've sent you the link. I've offered you to come on. You want to make this personal for some weird reason. I don't know why. You don't get it, Jay. You don't. And you're being quite rude tonight. Exactly. That's just love for the club. Even everyone in the chat is telling you to calm down, Jay. I don't know what you're doing this far tonight, mate.
Yeah, but
sorry, go on.
But Martin, when you go to a game, there's no guarantee anyway. Like, that's part of it, is the jeopardy of it all. That's the emotional side.
And you're from America saying this, but I'm the problem.
It's all right. Like, I've been to playoff games in the NFL, shitting my pants because I don't know if we're going to win or not. And sometimes we've lost and it's been awful. And sometimes we've won and it's absolute elation. But that comes with the territory of any sports game, period.
Mm.
Unless I'm missing something. Ed, am I missing something?
No, you're not.
Yeah. Can I just say this, Briggser? Can I bring up your personal circumstances, Briggser? Am I allowed? And I don't mean it in a poor way. Briggser, anyone who knows Briggs, he's top guy, has he said he was at Bodo. He made the trip at my own discretion. Class trip. I didn't beg for the refund. I didn't. I said fairs, but it's about supporting the club. No one said I had to go. I just think, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to get, I was going to do a show on this, but I'm not sure if it's going to go down well or the right way of doing it. Where is this split come from? Seriously. I'm asking you from abroad, where's this split come from?
I didn't even know that it was this pronounced, if I'm being brutally honest. And I am kind of plugged in with the YouTube stuff somewhat regularly.
Ed, do you know where it's from? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Turning around and saying fans here think they're better. When have we ever said that? Tell me when I've ever said, because that is attacking my personal character, mate. Tell me when I've said that fans who go to games are better.
Martin, how long have I known you? A couple years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we gotten into spirited debates? And not once had I ever thought that you were looking your nose down at me because I'm an international fan. Ever.
Mm-hmm. And Jay knows that. I've known Jay for about 7 years. Jay knows that I'm not like that. Exactly, Jay. And I've never said where you're from in Canada is bad. I don't get why you've got a hang up at the minute with fans. I don't know whether it's what someone else has said to you. I don't know. But you seem to be lumping me in with other people. And I've never done that.
I mean, Martin, I've gotten comment section where I've had match-going fans try to argue with me and pull the card of, yeah, well, I'm a match-going fan. What the hell do you know? So I know I've been on the receiving end a couple of times, but that's just random people allegedly on a YouTube comment. Like you're going to find that anywhere. And then I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Thought we're all here for one reason. Come on.
I just think people are venting. I don't know whether it's FPL's tweet earlier on has got to people. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be it. I mean, a lot of people had a lot of emotions tied up going into that game. And that tweet that you'd mentioned, I could see where some people might take issue with it. You know, again, emotions charged up after what happened last night.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to say about your personal circumstances, mate. And you know what I mean by that. And that's why I wanted to get your permission to say it. No, listen, people are entitled to support however they want. That's fine. And exactly, it doesn't. When you buy a ticket, it doesn't say guaranteed win.
Yeah, there's jeopardy. That's the point of going.
Yeah, it doesn't say guaranteed win. So when you buy your ticket, you can't guarantee anything.
Hey, Martin, let me ask you. The last 10 games of the league, and I think it was it 2021, when we beat Aston Villa at the final day of the season, the 10-year anniversary from the golden moment in 2012. Do you remember how awful and excruciating those games were leading up to that final match that we had? It was terrible. There's no guarantees in any of it. It was jeopardy all over the place, but that's what sports are about. No?
No, all it was, I was going to say, you are disabled and you went all the way to the arse end of the Antarctic to back the club and you didn't complain. Complained about the result, but yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on at the minute. And yes, I think people are venting at me because of a tweet from a prominent account. I don't know who they are. That's their opinion. I've said I don't agree with it, but that tweet really has upset people, and I understand why it has. And Jay knows I've never played that card. He knows that. The club's being confused. Probably, I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty. I think there's a lot of uncertainty at the minute around the way match-going fans are being treated. And I think people are seeing the upset with match-going fans that they have, and that's not with fans abroad. That's with the club. That is where the upset is at. We're not angry at fans abroad. We're angry at the club for feeling like we're not wanted anymore. That's been caused by one or two silly decisions that we don't agree with. That's not saying someone from Canada or America or India or wherever is less than us. We've never said that. You guys get up at 1, 2 in the morning and support the team. But there's this entitlement of, if I bought a ticket, I expect guaranteed success. No, you don't. You buy your ticket to support the club. So I don't know. And like I said, I've invited Jay Fresh on. I've invited Venom on. This is where we are. If you don't agree, let's come and have a debate about it. I can't make it any more clearer, guys. The tweet was from FPL Main Road earlier, saying that basically he was having a go at fans abroad. And it didn't go down too well. And I think that's just got to some people. And I understand why it would. But anyway, final thoughts. I mean, Jesus, we were going to do the West Ham stuff, but that's gone left very quickly. I think you know what it is. I think people are just angry at the minute, aren't they? I think people are just emotional and angry.
Yeah.
And with us, look at what losing to Madrid in that fashion's done to some people.
Can you imagine what these fans would have been like when we blew it in the 89th minute a couple years ago in 2022?
Yeah, I don't listen. I don't get it. I don't.
You know what I mean? Like what happened yesterday was poor, but can you imagine how gone their heads would be if it was in 2022? Oh my God, I'm just getting over that now.
Yeah. No, I was waiting for you to say, yeah, you want to come on. You know, you're always welcome. I'll send it you now, Jay. No problem, mate. You know, mate, and I can send it to Venom. People want to have a debate about it. We'll have a debate. I don't hide. I'll go till 2 in the morning if you guys want to. This is what I mean. I don't hide. I don't everything else. You know, I'm still not over it. And I get it. I get why people are not over it. I'm not probably over it. Exactly. West Ham. Listen, I don't understand the Pep out stuff. Never understand the Pep out stuff. I understand the criticism of Pep. Because as Mad Hatter and Ed heard me last night, I was criticising Pep. What I've seen in the last 24 hours, and I've probably seen it for 18 months now, there's a lot of nasty stuff coming out and people falling out with each other, which I don't agree with. All I ever ask is people be themselves. People be honest and they be themselves. And sadly, I don't know. I've said, and Ed, you've heard me say this, and I might be talking to myself now. The treble changed everything, sadly. The treble changed everything. Yeah. I think the treble changed everything, man, for me. I think If I'd have said to you 2 years ago, 3, even 5 years ago, finishing second and winning a domestic trophy is a failure of a season, what would you have said?
Your expectations are crazy high.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, look, I want to be able to beat Manchester United, beat Liverpool, and then if we're lucky, maybe beat Tottenham. Okay, I'm kidding with some of this, but like, yeah, like there's nothing guaranteed in sports. I get angry when I see silly, stupid mistakes made
I'll send you
that
a
are
link,
easily
madam.
avoidable. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we play really hard, we play really well, and a couple mistakes happen, but it's just it is what it is. You got outplayed. Fair play, no problem.
Well, Venom's there. Go on, Venom. Evening.
Yo.
Go on, mate. What do you want to talk about? Obviously, you know what to talk about. So, what are you seeing that's a problem at the minute? And just obviously, we talked about what's causing this split for you.
Split for what? The fans?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a combination of everything. Pure frustration from the team selection. Stuff seems to be working fine. We're selecting a good team. We're winning. We're doing 8, 9, 10 wins in a row, whatever it is. All of a sudden, there's a change in the biggest game of the entire season, and people can't seem to wrap their head around it. Like, why are you overthinking this? Some players that should be that should be on their field are not. Fans are frustrated. Are we in a rebuild mode or are we in a win now mode? Because you can't be both. You have to be one or the other.
Well, see, from my point of view, I've said we've always been in a rebuild mode, but you can win in a rebuild mode.
You can, but you're not likely to win.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of fans said at the start of the season. That we're in a rebuild mode.
That's where the disconnect is. The club and Pep himself, they don't want to come out and say that, hey, we're in a rebuild mode, we need time, or hey, we want to win now, so this is why we're buying these players that are going to help us win now. So we're stuck in a rock and a hard place per se. So where we don't know what direction to go. We don't know if we should be beating Madrid or if we should be losing to Madrid. We don't know if we should be chasing Arsenal down or we should focus on the FA Cup.
Do you not think it's a bit of PR? Let's, for
example, I don't think it's PR, Martin. I think it's there's a disconnect between the club, the fans, and the coach. There is a disconnect. So if
came out and Pep came out at the start of the season and said we're not good enough to win the league, you think every fan would have gone okay?
Perfectly fine. Yes. Tell us we're not good enough. So when we're going into the season, our expectations are already down low. We already know what to expect going forward. Hey, if we're 5-10 points behind in March, behind Arsenal, that's okay, because guess what? Our CEO came out and Pep came out and said, hey, we're not in a position to win the league right now, but I can promise you guys we are competing for it. We're going to try. But if it doesn't work out, this is the reason why we're not going to win the league. We are missing X, Y, and Z. We need these types of level players. This is what needs to come into the club. We have a player that has scored 1 goal in 18 months. He's not good enough. So we need to find a replacement for this player, and that player needs to play. The player that I'm talking about is Savio, scored 1 goal, 18 months in Premier League. Semenyo comes in and he scored what? 4 goals, 7 goals in eight different matches.
Well, when we said to you earlier, Doku's only scored 1 goal in a year.
Yes, no, I understand that. Doku has only scored this year 1 goal. I'm talking about over the last 18 months. Doku has more goals than what Savio has done.
But Savio has more assists than Doku, so it's kind of bearing each other out at the minute. I've said both are poor at the minute. Both need to improve.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I'm not doing this one's worse than the other because I think our wingers are part of the issue. My other thing is, I think if Khaldoon comes out at the start of the season and says like the Arsenal, you look at the Arsenal fans, the Arsenal board come out and he said, as long as we finish in the top 4 or 5, we're happy. Them fans went mad about that because he went, where's your ambition? Khaldoon is always going to say, we want to win.
Well, of
what
course
he doesn't
he's
do
say,
is guarantee you it. He doesn't guarantee you it.
Martin, of course he's gonna say that. Every CEO is gonna say we're gonna come out and we wanna win. If they come out and they say, hey, we're gonna compete this season, don't expect titles, then that's fine.
They'll never do that. They don't even do that at United.
Exactly. They're not gonna look at what United CEO, the one what's his name, Soriano, that left from us. He said, "Oh, United's going to be competing for a title by year 2028." No, they're not. But guess what? He gave them some sort of hope, though. Even though it's false hope, he did give them some sort of hope. Some of those fans ate it up, and they're like, "Okay, we're not where we're supposed to be. We're here, we're there, we're nowhere. We suck. We do this, we do that." But guess what? Some of them are like, "Well, we're not even supposed to be in top 5 this year." Because our CEO came out and said, "Oh, we're going to be competing for the league in 2028."
So that's what I'm saying. But so is what we've done this. This is why I think some are saying the Pep out stuff's a bit crazy because where we are right now, to be in with a chance of the league in another cup final is actually remarkable of what we're doing.
Yeah, I agree totally. But the expectations can change as the season goes along, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Listen, you know me, Ben, and we've had this chat privately as well. I think expectations are too high. Unless City always win the league and we don't win this, because I'll be honest with you.
But
I said,
Martin, do you also think that that's the ownership's problem as well? Because they went gung-ho on, we're going to get the best manager that we can for the next 10 years. We're going to employ him. We're going to give him money left, right, and center so he can bring us to the top. How are we going to stay at the top has not been addressed.
But because I don't think they were ever going to get, because the players they want are not available then. You can't get, no rebuild has ever been done in one window.
I'm well aware.
I think people have got missed. That's why I did it earlier. The misinformation of this. We spent $500 million. That includes Echeverri, James Trafford, Victor Hayes. They're not ready. Naipan. When you actually deep it into this $500 million, we bought about 4 ready-made first-team players.
And that's also another
and 2
problem.
of them came in January.
And don't you think that's also another problem? It's either you're going all out or you're not going all. Or you're
I think it's the market. I think the market's crap. I think the market's crap, and I don't think the players are. Like I said earlier, the Premier League's changed. No. Premier League is not the way it was 2 years ago anymore. It's now about aggression, nastiness, corners, throw-ins. It's everything that and I don't mean it's in a traditional English person would be like this is what we used to do. Like Sunday league football was wind, rain, fighting, having a punch-up, throw-ins, corners, putting 6 men on the goalies.
I'm from the I was born in late 80s, 88, Martin. I grew up in Bosnia. I'm from Europe, so I know all about European heritage, European football. I went to my local country's games. I seen Premier League games. My favorite player ever playing is R9. That's who I grew up watching. I cried like a baby when they lost the '98 World Cup. And I know it was rigged because they wanted France to win. So I know all about it. I came from it. I seen it. I watched it with my own 2 eyes. I've been to qualification games for my own country when they played Switzerland in like 97, I think. So I've seen it all. I I know what it is, and then what it's like what Mad Hatter said. It's coming full circle.
I think I hear the frustration. Like I said, for me, I think the local foreign thing is silly. I don't think tweets that were put out today help the situation. I really don't. For me, I'll never be someone of, well, I bought a ticket, doesn't mean we're going to win. Mate, you should buy a ticket because you want to be there, whether we win, lose, or draw.
But Martin, you also, I remember with me and you having private conversations about this. You also have said a lot about the differences in pay structure from USA to UK and to Europe and to all of that. Mm-hmm. And most of these people that are trying to go to these games, they don't have, like you were the one that told me that they don't have a lot of money. They don't make a lot of money. So them, we don't know the personal situations between a lot of these fans, and some of them are going for, I don't know, maybe to see their team win. And when their team doesn't show up, it feels like it's just a waste of time.
I agree.
They feel like they haven't been treated.
But when you buy a ticket, it doesn't say on it guaranteed win.
Oh, I agree 100%. But some fans, I feel like some fans want that experience of a win.
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe they haven't felt it. Maybe they haven't seen it. Maybe it's their first time taking their kid. So when they get a product on the field that doesn't produce a win, they feel like, well, you know what? I kind of wasted my money for it. And you also have to see that aspect of maybe that's their last €100 for the whole year.
Well, which is admirable, and this is not a dig at Martin Mash or anyone in the chat.
No, it's not. Not at all.
It's not a dig at anyone.
Conversation.
If that's your last 100, maybe spend it on a bill or a food rather than spending
no.
on a city ticket, if you know what I mean. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Entertainment, like if you have a set budget,
your entertainment should be the last thing that you go to with your money, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And I get it, and I get people want to win. And listen, I think this is all the frustration. Because for me, when I go to a game, it's about with my family, meeting some mates, having a drink, having a laugh, singing a few songs. We win, great. We don't. I have a bitch about it for 20 minutes, and I go home and I carry on with my day. And that is for me. I think too many people. This is going to sound awful, because everyone is emotionally invested.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And this is not a dig at anyone when I say this, Mad Hatter. Please don't take this the wrong way. But when people say I'm too emotional about it, maybe then you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're that emotional about it and it gets you that angry, there has to be a cut-off where you go, you know what? There's bigger things in my life right now.
Well,
and maybe
guys,
that's what it is with me. I love Manchester City more than anyone. But I've got too much. I mean, I'm going to be straight. I had my fucking brain operated on last week. You'd think I'm going to have a meltdown over Manchester City losing in Madrid. I'm more bothered about being alive right now. If I'm straight with you.
That's what matters the most. All of this is just,
and that's not. I'm not having a dig there, man. I'm not. That's not a dig at Kelsey or anything. It's just, you know what I mean. I'm just like, I get you're emotional. I get it, but I don't know. I just think emotional make people say silly things sometimes, don't they?
Martin, you're spot on, and I also would add that anything that's emotional is going to be a roller coaster, right? Yes. Your husband, your wife, your relationship with whomever, it's going to be up and down, but that's part of what makes it so good when it's good and terrible when it's terrible, right? Like that feeling of think about, beating Aston Villa and snatching that title from Liverpool at the end. That
was when you're 2-0 down. Yeah, and you're on TV crying. And then
in the 70th minute. Yeah, like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that. But then I also think about how I'm still suffering a little bit from PTSD from 2022 when we bottled it at Real Madrid. So again, if you're gonna go into the games to be emotional because they're gonna give you positive emotions, they're also gonna give you negatives. So it's a give and take, and you got to be ready to handle because there's no guarantee. It's like going on vacation. Oh, I went to Hawaii. Okay, well,
Yeah,
it
you're not
rained.
guaranteed sun. Sun, I'm sorry, it
I
sounds
can't
awful.
guarantee it's going to be sunny.
I went to America, as people know, 18 months ago. And I went to City versus Barcelona. I wasn't expecting a 3-hour delay to get pissed on and have a thunderstorm and kick off at nearly, 9 o'clock at night. I'm on holiday and I had a 3-hour delay on the game. It's like, you roll with it. I wish it kicked off on time, but it didn't. It is what it is.
But that's the jeopardy of it. Is it's that thing like I forgot who said it. It's better to have loved than lost than never loved at all, right? Well, is it better to have experienced the kind of up and down emotions you get with following a sport that you love and a team that you love, or not do it at all? I'm going to go with do it because the highs for me outweigh the lows. How about you guys?
Yeah, mate, I still have PTSD from 1999. Jesus, you think I'm this? I think this is what it would mean because my experiences are so different to so many of. To me, finishing second in the Premier League isn't a big thing. I know for me, we are challenging. This is challenging. We win our game in hand. We beat Arsenal at home. Are we not challenging? Are we not a point behind Arsenal? Is that not challenging? I don't. And do you know what's scary? Is how fucking good would we be if we actually became good then? If this is shit, second, and in a cup final, and in a quarter final of another cup final, what's good? What's good?
Yeah.
I don't know what's good. 20 points clear. I think this is the craziness and why I probably melt down so much because I'm like, I don't see it as bad.
Well, so I got something. So Venom, you're a New York fan or just Yankees fan?
I'm in New York State.
Okay, so I've been a Giants fan my whole life. I'm from Connecticut, right?
I don't watch baseball. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, football, New York Giants.
He hasn't got a
yeah. I'm a Giants fan. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how painful it was, even when we were doing really well with Eli Manning, because he was the interception king. He would throw interceptions left, right, and center. And I'd sit there and want to smash my head into a fucking wall because I got this guy who everyone telling me is a Pro Bowler. And you know what? Like, he's throwing interceptions. But he still got us to 2 Super Bowl wins. So as much as I'm frustrated with some of the stuff that happens during the season, dude, I got Super Bowl memories I'll never forget. So I think like sometimes people need to just kind of, I don't know, average it out a little bit. But yeah, I get frustrated with Pep sometimes. He does my head in. Love the guy, but he drives me up an effing wall.
It's hard to be American football fan because there's only one team that can win a competition.
Yeah.
There's only one team that can win a title every year.
Yeah.
There's several teams in footy that can win different titles because there's 4 you go for, right? Depending on what position you get into the league and stuff. There's 4 titles.
And we all put them in an ascending order as well. We put them in an order of what's important, don't we?
What's important, what you feel like is nicer and stuff like that. So
and again, that can be personal. That can be a subjective part of you.
Oh, 100%. You're telling me that Crystal Palace is not happy they won the FA Cup last year? What?
Oh, Jesus. I always remember that dad and that his son. Do you remember crying in the stand?
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I'd see this.
Exactly, yeah.
You know why Arsenal fans are so happy at the minute? Because they haven't won a league for 22 years and some of them have never seen it. And they're like, I can't wait for this. We saw it 18 months ago. This is why I think some Arsenal fans look at us and think, how are you lot moaning? We've not seen it in 22 years. You saw it 18 months ago and you saw 4 of the fuckers. Calm down. and I get it. We all want to win. 1000%. You know, maybe I've accepted the Champions League more because I wasn't putting, and everyone can go back to August. I had no expectation on this.
I want Champions League more, Martin. It's just to have
you get emotional at Champions League nights, you. I've noticed that you get emotional at
very
Champions
much.
League
It's because the only reason is because I feel like we're there. We have arrived, and the fact that we're kind of like, it might sound wrong, but kind of like throwing it away. It feels so like it feels defeating. It feels deflating. Like not playing Rodri versus Chelsea. Like this.
Did he throw it away last season? No. Do you think he's followed last season's thing and thrown it like? Because last season when we played Real Madrid, I think he threw it. And he admitted it, actually. He actually said we weren't ready to win it.
But he did the same thing yesterday.
So that's what I mean. I know this is a big if. Just stay with me, guys. I'll listen to me out here.
I'll listen to your point, but yeah.
If we win the league at the expense of this, was it all bad?
It depends. It depends what you rate more, Martin. Right?
Well, okay. Better question. Next Wednesday, would you go all out to win at the expense for the Sunday final?
Yes.
Madata?
Oh, this is a tough one.
That's what I'm saying. Would you? Because by the way, don't forget the next round is probably Bayern.
That's okay.
Giving us a trophy.
Because guess what, Martin? We play better against better sided Champions League team than we play against the worst side Champions League team. In the run of treble, Dortmund.
See,
Bayern,
that's where I'm different. I can't give
Madrid,
a guarantee. I can't give a guarantee trophy for anything. It's a guarantee trophy.
It's not. Look who you're playing. It's not.
No, if that's what I'd rather beat Arsenal in that final than trying to get through the Real Madrid game. Because that's a trophy. And my biggest thing is there are players in that squad who've never won a trophy. Getting through to the next round of Champions League, I hear is important, but that's money.
Oh no, I understand. I hear it.
Savio to lift up trophies and get that winning feeling in their mind is more important than anything for me moving forward.
I'm going to have to agree, but only because we're down so much. If it was tied or we were up, that'd be a much harder decision for me. But the buy-in for winning over Arsenal to kick us on, like remember the first year when Pep was here, or the first season we won something with Pep, like I believe he even chalked it up to winning the League Cup because you know what, it got everything really moving. And if that can work and we can maybe get an FA Cup or maybe even get the Premier League somehow.
Jesus, you're on the treble road.
Me? Yeah, I noticed that like when I'm saying it, I'm like, yeah, maybe we could do this. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm sounding like the treble. No. But I'm trying to think like positively. You know what I mean?
Expectations.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm saying ifs and could, it'd be nice. I'm not crying over it if it doesn't happen. But the Real Madrid thing, Venom, I'm sure you probably agree with me, Martin, everyone. We're all disappointed in what happened yesterday, period. And I think it was a bit of a blunder.
Everyone has heard me. I slagged Pep off yesterday.
Yeah.
All I didn't say was I'm nowhere near Pep out, and I'm not. I will never be a Pep hater. The guy has given me too much pleasure in my life. He has took our club to places I didn't even think there was a destination to.
I understand, Martin.
And to win a treble.
I'm not Pep out either, Martin. But
no, I know you're. I'm just talking more about.
I'm open to the conversation of let's have it.
I don't think there's anyone better out there. Still, Company won't come now. Company won't come now. Enrique, I don't think will come. And other than that, I don't think anyone else is good enough.
Okay, so let me change it on you guys. Company and Enrique both said they'd come. Pep is still here. He said he'd leave if he wants, but if not, he'll see his contract out. What do you do?
Pep signing a long-term deal, or is he still going into?
No, he's gonna be. He'll only commit for another 2 years. None of the long-term stuff, which I think we really need for stability.
No, we need stability.
Then I'm probably going to Company. Yeah. One thing I will say, my biggest criticism of Pep is if he does stay, it has to be a 4-year deal. 3 or 4 year deal minimum. I can't be doing this 2 years anymore because it's putting us into a rinse and repeat situation every 12 months.
Yep.
And I don't
100%.
think it helps anything. I don't think it helps the structure of the club. I don't think it helps the club going forward. I'm going to be honest. Part of me is I don't think my thing with company a little bit. I think that is more sentiment and romance. Right now, is the fan base in general in a stable situation to allow company to make errors? Because I don't want that guy's legacy tarnished. I don't. It would break my heart to watch people say get Vinny out.
Martin, that's fine if they hold that sentiment, but his legacy will never be tarnished from everything that he has done as a player.
It will. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Well,
Frank Lampard,
some players.
I
understand some fans are like that, but us sensible ones, like if company came in and he won one game in 15, I wouldn't be like, oh, he's shit, he's this, is that. Maybe he's not city level coach at that time, but guess what? Like him scoring that goal against Leicester, you can never take that away, ever.
Well, it's like Chelsea. I know Chelsea are still going to go and sell their game out next week, even though the 5-2 down. They're going to go and sell it out.
Well, London is a bigger market from everything that I heard from everybody around.
Yeah, it is.
The footy market. There's a lot of tourists there. There's a lot of locals. There's a lot of different people. One of the Twitter accounts, I think Man City Ticket or something, he posted that he was selling 2 tickets to the UCL game for Madrid next week, and there was like 3 or 4 different non-City fans were like, "Hey, I want to buy it. Can I buy it?" And he just
I think
and he was like, "No." He's like, "No, I'm only selling it to City fans."
Do you know my issue at the minute? And I think where the disconnect with the Champions League is, because I was talking to my nephew about this earlier. I think the way the club are with Champions League nights has put people off a little bit. Because I'll be straight with you. I'll go to the game. Say you go to it like the cup final. That will be raucous. It'll be thing. The Real Madrid game will be fine, but I'll be honest with you, you never see the same faces. So if I go to a league game on a Saturday, and then I go to a Champions League game on a Wednesday, I can't recognize anyone I'm sat with.
Well, do you think that's because it's easier?
That's the way the club has done it. It's not the fans' fault. Yeah. It's the way the club have kind of done these ticket sales. I don't want to see a guy cutting hair in the middle with a Real Madrid shirt on. What are we doing? It's like, come on. It's like something's gone wrong somewhere.
I was going to ask you, do you think that the way that they structured the ticket sales, like isn't it a lot easier for foreign fans to get Champions League tickets as opposed to a Premier League ticket?
Because they go on. Not at City, it's more at Viagogo and StubHub and it's those areas.
Ticketmaster and
there
all
are
that.
People, for some people, City versus Real Madrid's a once in a lifetime to watch it live. Yeah. And they will pay good money to go and watch it.
Oh, trust me, I would too. If I was going to UK this week or next week and City was playing Madrid, I'm paying top dollar for that ticket.
Yeah, it's a one-off.
Best believe it. Yeah, best believe it.
And I think, to me, it's not a one-off. To me, it's my ritual. I get up, I put my shirt on, I go.
Well, you're spoiled. That's what happens. You're spoiled.
Yeah, what I do on a match day,
little brat.
What I'll do on a Saturday is what I'll do on a Wednesday, is what I'll do on the Saturday, what I'll do on the Sunday. Every game, I have a ritual, and it doesn't change. And to me, it's not a one-off. It's just part of life. It's ingrained in me. And yet, if we lose, I'm bitch. If we draw, a bitch. We win, great. And I go home and I just get on with life.
Martin, you're making me jealous.
I know, but that's not me saying.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you, but you're making me jealous.
I can't help where I was born. You can't help where you were born.
I know.
You know, listen, I know 99% of people in this chat and on this screen would swap places with me living 5 minutes away from the Etihad. I could leave here now, let you three carry on, and in 8 minutes, I will be back on screen outside the Etihad Stadium. Not many people can say that or do that. And of course, I'm privileged for that. But I can't help I was born at St. Mary's Hospital at Manchester. Yeah, it's like going to church for me. If you're Catholic or whatever, other religions are available. It's just like going to church every Sunday. That's my church. The Etihad Stadium is my church. And I don't care if Dick Van Dyke's in charge or Billy down the road's wearing the shirt. They will get my backing, vocally and verbally and everything, because that's me. Then I go home. And that's all I am. And I think people get confused. Like you said, we've done fucking 4 hours on air. We've never done 4 hours in ages. And like you said, Venom, we had a bit of a disagreement in the chat. We bring you on, we have a chat. It's about opinions. But I can disagree as well. I think where it gets lost is, I think typing stuff in the chat can get lost in it. It's like a text message. Now in text messages, we have to put an emoji in it to show you're laughing or to show you're like confused or whatever. You know why that was brought out? Because people lost context in what were just words. You don't see what the thing is. You could say something better and we're pissing yourself, and I'm going, why the fuck are you saying that? And you're pissing yourself.
Oh,
going,
you mean like Alan?
Yeah. And this is the thing. People lose it. Exactly. The emotion, you need to wear a voice for the emotion sometimes. And I think that's what happened in the last 24 hours is just pure emotion coming out of everyone.
Well, Martin, it's because us as fans, man, we're all upset because we see what's working. We have won X amount of games, and then for you to for Pep to go and do this, it's like it's so disheartening and it's so frustrating and upsetting. It's because you're coming in with an expectation. You're facing the worst Madrid side in the last 15 years. And for you to do this, what you've done yesterday, that lineup and all of that, it's sad because I also feel like he's wasting his prime years doing this when he could be possibly going for a win. Or going for not to lose like he did in the treble year. How do we set up? Let's go there and let's get a draw. Okay, we go there, we get a draw. Thank you, KDB. You're the GOAT. You're the best player ever. Thank you. 1-1. We'll finish it. What did Pep say? We'll see at the Etihad. They came in and we wiped the floor with them. I still watch that game. Whenever I get mad, I just go and turn on Real Madrid versus City at Etihad 4-0. And I hit play, and I just see us just rinsing the floor with them. They had no chance. And you know how the camera pans back at Ancelotti, and he's confused. He's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, I don't know what to do. That was Pep yesterday, and that was like, it was so hurtful. And it's like, you're one of the greatest managers ever. And you just kind of like, hey, I fucked up badly here and I don't have a way out. I don't know what to do. It was hurtful. It was very hurtful to see that, because we know what we can do, and to go through that, it was painful. It was really painful because they were there. They were there to be gotten at, and he missed big. He missed very big.
Anyway, right, we're at the 4 hour mark. I'm going to call it there. Because I think 4 hours is a lot. Charles Catson, but I'm going to know the real Martin and just the Martin. Exactly. Listen, and that's the point. People, this is the other thing as well. Because I'm on your screens, people think they know me. The people who spoke to me privately know the real me. They know who I am. I'm not, it is what it is. And that's the thing. When you're on the screen, people think you know you. And they really don't. Yeah, smash the like, subscribe, so I'm going Tuesday and we're winning 4-0. Let's do it. You know what? And I hope we do. Thoughts on Hayes 6 weeks? I think he'll probably go back out alone. I have got some news this evening. Viana has spoke to Forrest today informally. Not today. Well, in the last couple of days, there has been. I'm 90%. People are going to like this. I'm pretty sure Elliot Anderson's going to happen. I think that's.
I'm down with that.
I'm down with that. Anybody about Morgan Gibbs White?
I wouldn't really like the two of them. I think
did he speak to Dembele's agent, by the way? There's a rumor on X today about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that's true. Especially if we're going to go down this road of physicality. Because that's part of the... My question is, why would PSG want to get rid of him?
Oh, I guess apparently because like he hasn't signed a contract or something, and it's up.
This is what always makes me think of why, if he's that good and PSG are that good, why are they getting rid of him?
I don't want him. I don't want him for City. He's too injury prone.
I think that smells of contract negotiation. That smells of get me a new contract. I mean, when does his contract run out? I'll have a look now. Dembele,
2028, I think.
His contract runs out. He's contracted to 2028. So he's got 2 years left. So that smells of complete and utter. What's the word? Contract negotiation. And we're being used. It's like the Lucas Nemecha stuff. That was agent talk. That was agent stuff.
He came from our academy, didn't he?
Yeah. Big up Ed had to drop. Yeah, that was agent stuff. It's a load of garbage. The Nemecha stuff was never even on the cards. That was just agent, right? I need a new contract. Let's use City as it. So, yeah. No, we'll see. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. Matt, thank you for coming on, mate.
Thanks for having me. Nice meeting you, Venom.
Always. Ozzy was on earlier. Rich was. No Pat tonight because obviously he's back on holiday. He has more holidays than Judith Chambers, that fella. Big up Venom for coming on and saying your piece, mate.
Always. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, exactly. People just run what they want to say. Listen, do you know the Dembele stuff reminds me of the Neymar stuff? It reminds me of the name. Exactly. PSG are going to sell a Ballon d'Or winner. Yeah, of course they will. Of course they will. Anyway, take care, guys. And as always, up the Blues, smash those likes. We're back tomorrow with, let me get it up, 8 p.m. with Oil Brothers, me, Baz, Scotty, Ed. We're going to talk about the week that is. And then on Saturday, don't forget, 90 minutes, watch-along special, starting at 7:15, West Ham versus City. And we'll do some post-match stuff as well. That is on Saturday evening. So grab your food, your drink, come and have a laugh. And also, new QR code. That is the updated one with Dash, with the teenage cancer link. It's there for another 11 days. 11 days. So just to give everyone the update on that, you've got 11 days left of that one before that will expire. So, yeah, we will see you all tomorrow. As always, up the Blues. Guys, stay safe. Look after each other. It's all opinions. We can agree to disagree, but don't fall out with each other. Take care. As always, up the Blues.